The Dodgers start tonight with a record of 18-8, 4 games ahead of Atlanta in the National League West. The Mets, on the other hand, have won 7 and lost only 14. Here are the lineups for the Dodgers. Davey Lopes will lead off at second base. Ken Landreau will be in center field. Dusty Baker will play left. Steve Garvey will be at first base. Ron Shea will play third. Pedro Guerrero will be in right field. Mike Scioscia will do the catching. Bill Russell will be at shortstop. And Fabulous Fernando Valenzuela will do the pitching. 6-0 with an ERA of 0.33. One of only 2 6-game winners in the major leagues this early. The other is Oakland's Mike Norris. Valenzuela leading the National League in 6 pitching categories. A 1-loss record, an earned run average, innings pitched, complete games with 5, in shutouts with 4, and in strikeouts with 50 in those 54 innings. For the Mets, who start tonight in 5th place in the Eastern Division, 8 games off the top. Lee Mazzilli leads off in center field. Bob Baylor will be at shortstop. John Stearns is the first baseman. Joel Youngblood will be in right field. Dave Kingman in left, batting 5th. Hubie Brooks is the third baseman. Alex Trevino is the catcher. Doug Flynn at second base. And Mike Scott doing the pitching. Scott 1-2 this season with an earned run average of 6.43. Scott beat the Padres in his last start. He went 7 innings in that game. He had earlier lost to the Cardinals and to the Pirates. And all 3 of those decisions came here at Shea Stadium. The umpires tonight, Nick Colosi will call balls and strikes. Frank Foley will be at first base. Harry Gregg at second. And Doug Harvey at third. A nice evening for baseball in New York. Temperature in the high 50s at game time. And a good crowd expected. They've been averaging just over 11,000 for home date this year at Shea Stadium. And they expect to triple that tonight with Fernando Valenzuela the main attraction. It was another case before the game tonight of thinking you were in a World Series type atmosphere. The influx of media members all crowding into the Dodger dressing room and around the batting cage during the pregame drills. In fact, the Mets supplied Valenzuela with a police escort when he came out to take batting practice. Tomorrow we'll see Rick Sutcliffe go against Dave Roberts in Game 2 of the series. And then Sunday, Bobby Welch will fire against Randy Jones on getaway day. The Dodgers then leave after the game Sunday, fly back to Southern California, take Monday off, and open a 9-game homestand on Tuesday night against the 3 clubs that just played here in the East, except it'll be Montreal first, then New York and Philadelphia coming into Dodger Stadium beginning next Tuesday night. The Mets now take the field. They won their first night game of the season here last night when they beat the Giants 3-2. The Mets are not having a very good homestand. They won 3 and lost 7. The Mets, plagued by pitching problems, they have 2 of their starters, Craig Swan and Tim Leary, the former UCLA star, on the disabled list. Now the fans being asked to rise for the national anthem to be sung tonight by Bob Donaldson. that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner should wave o'er the land of the free and the home of It'll be time to play ball. The Dodgers and the Reds from New York right after this.
Know what you like best in your new Datsun 310?
Burns is at first base. Doug Flynn playing second. The shortstop is Bob Baylor, and Hubie Brooks is at third. In the outfield, Dave Kingman's at left. Lee Mazzilli in center. Joe Youngblood in right. Doing the catching, Alex Trevino. And on the mound, Mike Scott, who was born in Santa Monica, went to high school at Hawthorne, and then on to Pepperdine University, where he was star for the Waves for 3 years. Davey Lopes walks to the plate, and we are ready to play baseball on a Friday night in New York. The Dodgers and the Mets, and now for the play-by-play, here's Jerry Duggan.
Thanks, Ross, and hi, everyone. Welcome to the Big Apple, and the Big Apple is really blossoming here tonight. It's just like World Series atmosphere, as Ross told you. Here's Big Mike Scott ready to go. 6'3", 195-pounder, ready to come down to Davey Lopes. And the first pitch of the game on the way. Davey looks, and that's low outside ball one. Davey Lopes with a 147 batting average with 1 home run and 5 runs batted in. Now Scott again ready, and he's pitched to Lopes. Ground ball hit behind second base. Flynn backhand stop. Off balance throws in time. So a good play by a Golden Glove at second base, Doug Flynn, to take a base hit away from Davey Lopes. Lopes hitting the ball back up the middle, and Flynn able to make a good play on it. The Dodgers and the Mets last year in the 12 innings, the Dodgers won 7. But here at Shea Stadium, the Dodgers won only 2, and they did not win a game here the first trip in, and it took them till the second game of the second trip to win one. They lost the first 4 and wound up winning the last 2 in New York, but they beat the Mets 5 out of 6 in Los Angeles. Here's Landreau now to face Scott, and Kenny grounds one to the left side. In the hole at shortstop, Baylor can't make a play. Landreau is on. So Landreau hitting one to the left side. If Baylor went to backhand the ball in the hole, we'll see what kind of scoring we'll have on that one. It's going to be an error on the shortstop, Baylor. Had he fielded it cleanly, you might have had Landreau, who's hit safely at 9 out of 10. So Baylor lets one get away, and here's Dusty Baker. All right, Baker stepping on the bag, into the batter's box, and Landreau at the bag, holding up his hand to indicate 1 out. Dusty did very well against the Mets last year. A .429 average with 7 home runs against New York, including 5 that he hit in this ballpark. And it's a pretty big park. 338 down the line, 371 to the power alleys, and 410 to straightaway center. Here's the stretch again, and a throw to first, and Landreau hops back on the bag and almost fell off the bag as Stearns was breaking the tag on him and got his glove tangled up in Landreau's leg. Landreau has stolen 6 out of 8. So Kenny now calls time and backs off. Dusty Baker, a .291 lifetime average against New York, 15 home runs lifetime, but he hit 7 of those last year. So Dusty was really blazing. Mike Scott, been around a little while. Mike began professionally in 1976 at Jackson in the Texas League. First appeared with the Mets in 1979, came up again in 1980. He's won 3 games and lost 6 in the big leagues, including his 1-2 record this year. Another throw to first, and again Landreau hops back on the bag. Scott is from Hawthorne. He was born in Santa Monica. Here's the pitch to Baker. Taken for strike in at the knees, 0-1. Mike Scott, a graduate of Hawthorne High School. As a senior, he was 9-1. Played baseball at Pepperdine in Malibu for 3 years. All West Coast Athletic Conference first-team selection, all 3 years. He's outstanding in college. Pitch to Baker. Strike 2 on an off-speed pitch, and it's upping and 2 to Dusty. In 3 years at Pepperdine, Mike Scott won 14 and lost only 2. And his team won 3 conference championships. All right, strike two count to Baker. Landro getting a lead away. And Scott ready. Here's the look in the pitch to Dusty. Low outside for ball. And it goes to a 1-2 count. Mike Scott this year, 1 win, 2 losses. Beat the Padres in his last start in the second game of the May 3rd doubleheader here on Sunday. Allowed 8 hits and 4 runs and no walks. So again to first, and again Landro's back in head first. He lost to the Cardinals in his first start April the 16th, lost to the Pirates April the 28th. So he's 1-2 and just getting started in his big league career. So to first, and Landro's picked off. Time called. The plate umpire Colosi says no, it's a balk. So the throw was over there, and a balk was called. So instead of being picked off, the call at first base by Foley, who didn't see the plate umpire Colosi, indicate balk. So Landro goes to second base, and the balk was called. The Scott had him picked off, but he had the balk to do it, so that doesn't count. So Landro is now on second base. He started to walk toward the dugout, and Colosi, the plate umpire, intercepted him and said, no, go to second base instead. Baker takes one inside for a ball, and the count is 2-2. Fastball in on the hand. Pretty big crowd on hand tonight for Shea Stadium. They have not been drawing too well here in New York, averaging around 12,000, but the lure of Valenzuela has brought out some extra fans here tonight. Baker trying to get the Dodgers on the board. Here's the pitch to Dusty. Ground ball, base hit left field. Here comes Landro around third base, and Kingman's throw coming to the plate is going to be not in time. The Dodgers lead 1-0, and just as they've been doing on the road, the Baker-Landro act has been producing runs. Last night in Philadelphia, they did it. The first game of the series at Philadelphia, they did it. So 3 times now in the last 4 games, Baker has driven in Landro in the first inning. And thanks to the balk, followed by the error, the Dodgers have a run, and here's Steve Garvey. For Baker, that is his 10th run batted in. Baker last year drove in 16 runs against New York. Boy, he loves to bat against the Mets. Here's Garvey coming out of his slump, and he's up to 259 now. Steve takes a fastball on a strike as he backs away, 0-1. Garvey's hit safely in 5 straight, and is playing his 862nd consecutive game. The Dodgers with a lead, 1-0. Getting a break twice on the error, then on the balk after Landro has been apparently picked off first. Baker away with a short lead. Scott looks over the pitch to Garvey, high and tight. Garvey has to get down and under that one. And it goes to 2 balls and no strikes to Garvey. Check the count, 1-1. The first pitch was in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers off to lead here. They won 2 one-run ball games in Philadelphia, both by 2-1 scores. Baker goes, Garvey grounds one to shortstop. Baylor's play will go to first base, and he makes the play there. He had to back up for the ball. Baylor was going to cover, and the ball almost got through there, but he had to stop in a hurry and back up and make the play. He throws out Garvey, and on the hit and run play, staying out of the double play, Baker takes second. Here's Ron Shea at bat. Ronnie hitting 272, 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in, and Ronnie has 3 game-winning runs batted in. The Dodgers on the trip have won 4 and lost 3. 3 to go here in New York. And they have weathered a storm as far as playing against some top contenders, both Montreal and Philadelphia expected to be right in the thick of things in the Eastern Division race. And they're in there right now with Montreal leading by a game over St. Louis and Philadelphia. Ron Shea waiting to pitch on the way to Ronnie. Slider up high, 1 ball and no strike. Mike Scott. He and Tim Leary, the 2 youngsters out of the Los Angeles area, expected to help the Mets pitching, but Leary's on the disabled list for a while. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Shea. Ronnie fouls that one straight back into the wire, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dodgers with 18 wins, 8 losses. The Mets 7-14. Snapped a short losing streak last night by beating the Giants here at Shea Stadium. The Dodgers wind up this road trip here in New York on Sunday, and then come back home for a good series beginning Tuesday night with Montreal, the first club in. 1-1 count. Now the pitch. Shea checks that throw with a breaking ball, 2-1. It'll be Montreal, New York, and Philadelphia. And tickets are going fast for that series, so we hope you'll start making your plans. You're going to see some of those games to get busy and pick up the ticket. 2-1 to Shea. Baker off second base. The run is in. Ronnie fouls one back into the screen, and the count is 2-2. But the Dodgers coming home Tuesday. The 3-game series with the Mets next weekend will be jacket weekend, and then we'll have 3 with the world champions. By the way, general admission seats are on a guaranteed seat basis for the New York and Philadelphia games, as well as for the Dodgers-Cincinnati games at Dodger Stadium on the May 29th, 30th, and 31st. Shea's left for those. Shea checks, and that ball is off the bat foul. 2-2 the count. So general admission seats on a guaranteed seat basis for the New York series, the Philadelphia series, and for the Dodgers-Cincinnati series on the next homestand. So they're going fast. You want to be sure and get in on the fun. Do your ticket shopping early. All right, 2-2 with 2 out. Baker awaits for second. Scott ready to go. Here's a look in the pitch. Inside, ball free. Fastball backed him out of there, and it's a full count to Shea. An error on Landreau's ground ball to short has set up the run. He was apparently picked off first, but Scott had balked. And Landreau was awarded second base, and Baker singled him home. Garvey grounded out, and Baker advanced to second. Now Shea waiting 3-2. Here's the look and the payoff pitch. High chopper to the left side. Up for it comes the third baseman. His play to first is going to be way late. Brooks breaking the play, but Shea beats that one out. A high chopper hit down off the ground in front of home plate. And on the play, Baker able to take third, and that'll bring on Pedro Guerrero. So Shea gets a infield chopper as Hubie Brooks, the third baseman, couldn't get in there in time to make the play on it. Guerrero coming up. Pedro didn't play much against New York last year. He had 2 hits and 5 at-bats. So Pedro now with a .274 batting average, standing in with a chance to add to the Dodger lead. Scott ready to look at first, and the pitch to Pedro, a breaking ball is swung on and missed, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Guerrero backs out. A little bit chilly here this evening. Oh, we had a bright, sunshiny, beautiful day, almost a fall day. Here's the pitch. Guerrero takes high for a ball, 1-1. After Pedro will be Mike Socia. Well, Landreau's having a good road trip. Landreau's had 12 hits on this trip. He's already scored a run. He got on an error. Here's the pitch. Pedro takes another one too high. Ball 2, and it's 2-1. Well, Mike Scott, he was the Mets' second selection in the 1976 June free agent draft. He was 13-7 last year at Tidewater before being called up. Guerrero left ball to the left side. Brooks down to second base for the fourth out there to retire the sack. So Guerrero grounds into a fourth play, and the Dodgers settle for the 1 run. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and the Dodgers lead 2. So the score at the end of the half inning, the Dodgers 1 and the Mets coming to bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, for some time now I've been suggesting that you remember a certain car dealer's name. And I want to see if that little test is working. When I say cars, who comes to mind? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about when I say savings? Roger Dean Chevrolet. What about service and parts? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about used cars? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about trucks and high trade-ins? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about great financing? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about big selection? Roger Dean Chevrolet. Well, I see now that perhaps you folks were listening. What do you take us for? Some dumb bummy or something? We wouldn't forget a name like Roger Dean Chevrolet, Sonny. Are you crazy? Roger Dean Chevrolet. Okeechobee and Congress Boulevard in West Palm Beach. A name worth repeating. Go ahead. Repeat the name. Yes, repeat the name, Sonny. It's a name worth repeating. Roger Dean Chevrolet. A name worth remembering.
Well, Fernando Valenzuela on the mound now takes to a 1-run lead. Fernando, of course, you're familiar with all his numbers. It's about as familiar as we are. We read them off a sheet of paper to you, but I know most Dodger fans now have the Mets firmly in their mind. Fernando's making his 7th start of the year. He has won 6, lost none. Last year he was 2-0, so he's 8-0 lifetime. And he has allowed just 2 earned runs. 1 earned run to the Giants in the 8th inning in his second outing of the year, and 1 earned run in the 8th inning to 6 straight. He has worked 9 innings in every game and has 5 complete games. The last game that he was in was a 10-inning game. The Dodgers won it 6-1 by scoring 5 runs in the 10th inning. Okay, for New York, it'll be slumping Lee Mazzilli coming on. Mazzilli is hitting only 143 and a 153. Mazzilli, a switch hitter, will turn around and tap to the right side. And Fernando Valenzuela brings his back to New York. He's in the spotlight in the Big A. Because he was working tonight, the Dodgers and the baseball officials in the commissioner's office and in the National League wanted Fernando to come to New York yesterday for a press conference so that he could get acquainted with the members of the New York media. Foul on the first pitch, back to strike 1. So Fernando came to New York a day ahead. They had the press conference here at Shea Stadium yesterday, and there were banner stories in the New York paper this morning about the 20-year-old from Mexico, Fernando Valenzuela. He's pitching to Mazzilli with Baylor and Stearns to follow. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. True ball is down low, and the count is 1-1. So the baseball fans all around the National League anxious to get a look at the young phenom. There's been nothing less than sensational so far. Here's the pitch, line to the left field. It'll be a base hit down in the corner. Mazzilli makes a turn and slips and falls, rounding first base and holds on as Baker gets it back in. So Mazzilli racks the single to left field. Of course, the fans have come to see Valenzuela, but the fans are Met fans, and they want to see Valenzuela get beat. You can bet on that. Here's Bob Baylor, the shortstop, coming on. Baylor's hitting .333. He's been hitting well in a utility role, taking over for Frank Tavares, who has not been playing well. Baylor has hit in 5 of his last 6 games and at a .353 clip. So the curveball hung a little bit, and Mazzilli, a good hitter, even though he's slumping, laced it into left field. They took a header turning first base. He slipped and fell. Valenzuela to Baylor, and the pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strike. You keep pitching yourself and watching Valenzuela pitch, and you know he's only human. And sometimes he's going to have an off night. And you keep wondering when will it be. But so far he has not had one. Here's the pitch. Baylor takes low for a ball. 2 balls and no strike. Valenzuela in 54 innings has walked only 11 and has struck out 50. He leads the league in that category as well as several others. Bob Baylor, B-A-I-L-O-R. Mazzilli on first base. And Valenzuela up with the arm. The look and the pitch. Tapped up the first baseline, and Garvey will play it foul. Foul ball to Baylor. He'll turn and come back. In most of his other games, Valenzuela has had a little trouble early in the game, but the further it went, the better he seemed to get. And as far as being nervous or anything like that, right, you can't read inside of a man's mind or soul, but he has given the outward appearance of being very cool, calm, and collected, and not even bothered about the excitement that is swirling around him now as a 20-year-old out of Sonora, Mexico, here in the big city, the biggest in the continent. All right, a 2-1 count. Fernando set the pitch. Mazzilli goes foul upstairs to the right out of play, and it's a 2-2 count to Baylor. So Bob Baylor waiting. No home runs, 3 runs batted in. They played hit and run, and Mazzilli comes back to the bag, and Valenzuela gets a new ball and rubs it up. We'll have a day game tomorrow. Rick Sutcliffe to go against Dave Roberts, and then on Sunday, Bob Welch and Randy Jones. The Mets are 7-14. They're in 5th place, 8 games back. Here's the 2-2 look, and the pitch on the way. Foul. That one into the stands, or into the dugout. And Baylor got around late on that one and slammed it right into the Mets dugout. He was really late on that pitch. So the count holding at 2-2 to Baylor. All right, Fernando up on top. He looks at Mazzilli, who opened the game for the Mets with a single. The Dodgers lead 1-0. Here's the look, and there goes the runner. And the pitch is outside, throw to second base on a bounce. And he's in there with a steal. So Mazzilli steals second base. They got a pretty good jump on Fernando, who has been holding runners on very well. That makes it a ball 3 and strike 2 count now. I'll tell you what, Fernando wouldn't be human if all this hullabaloo and excitement around him didn't have some effect on him, at least a little tiny bit. Well, he's a little bit wild here. He's gone 3-2 to Baylor, with Mazzilli on second base, and Baylor now trying to get a run for the Mets right off the bat. Here's the pitch. Looped in along the right field line. Garvey going down for it in foul territory, but it's out of play. Garvey had to drape over the top roller and couldn't get to it. And umpire Pulley crawls in there to get it and brings it back out. So Garvey couldn't get over the top roller for that one, and Baylor stood up there making contact. And Missouri goes back to second base. So Fernando Valenzuela with John Stearns on deck and Youngblood to follow. Here's the look and here's the pitch. Half swing foul. And again, Baylor making contact. And he fouls that down the first baseline. Darren Johnson is the first base coach. Chuck Cottier in the third baseline. There's a pretty good picture in the dugout with the Mets. Coach Bob Gibson. Watching Valenzuela. 3-2 pitch on the way. Struck him out. Baylor going for the screwball, and down he goes. So, one away. And before we see Stearns, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. Here's Stearns at bat, a good hitter, but he's slumping at 200. John still has a bad finger. Takes outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strike. Stearns, of course, would be the number one catcher if he could throw, but he has trouble gripping the ball. Once he grips it, he can throw it all right, but it takes him a little bit too long to grip it. So Stearns is playing at first base, and he has played some at third already. Next pitch comes high, ball 2 balls and no strikes, and Valenzuela wants a new ball. It's a little bit chilly. He's blowing on his hands now, probably to get a little warm. When you grow up in Mexico, as far south as he did, and you come into the north country like the Dodgers have been doing the last few days, that blood may be a little bit thin. All right, a 2-0 count to Stearns. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at the Screwsies. 2-1. Stearns lunging all the way around after that one. 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out. Mazzilli standing at second base, and the Dodgers have a first inning run to lead 1-0 here in the Big Apple in New York. Youngblood due next. Here's the pitch on the way. High, ball 3-1. Fernando walks back up on top. He's only walked 11 in 54 innings. He's gone out a 3-1 count on Stearns. He's gone 3-2 to Baylor. Here's the pitch. He walks it. Base on balls. That brings on Youngblood, who is a hot hitter. Youngblood hitting .358, 1 home run, 7 runs batted in, and Youngblood has had 13 hits in his last 21 at bats. So Valenzuela gets a hold of a hot hitter here in Joel Youngblood. And Youngblood went 0 for 4 last night, but he still has 13 for 21. We're in the takeoff pattern from LaGuardia, as you no doubt can tell, with the jets going roaring by every few minutes in the background. All right, Dodgers go to double play depth against Youngblood. Here's the pitch on the way. That's a strike. No, check it outside as we got a little motion from Colosi. The scoreboard thought it was a strike, but Colosi gave it a funny motion. So they change it now to ball 1. So Youngblood waiting, and next will be Dave Kingman. Now that might be quite a meeting. Here's the look of the pitch. Outside again, and Fernando's having trouble getting a strike zone. He's a little bit wild. And Sochi goes out to talk to him. And Valenzuela turns around, takes a look at what's going on. And now the Dodgers move right fielder Guerrero back a few steps. Danny Ozark up on the dugout steps, telling Guerrero to go back a little bit. Youngblood hits pretty well to all field. All right, Guerrero waiting. 2 on in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Way outside, ball 3. So Fernando has gone to a 3-ball, no strike count. And on 3 straight hitters, he's had 3 balls. He got Baylor on strike. He lost Stearns, and now he's got Youngblood 3-0. With Kingman and Brooks should come next. All right, Fernando ready, 3-0 count. Here's the look now, the pitch on the way. In there, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to Youngblood. Fernando goes back down behind the mound again. All right, let's see how he gets out of this. 3 balls and a strike. Basili, a good runner at second base, and Stearns at first base, also a good runner. Here's the 3-1 pitch. He walks in to load the bases. So back-to-back walks given up by Valenzuela. And here's Dave Kingman. 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in, and you know all about Dave Kingman. He's a slugger. He has struck out 18 times in 72 at-bats. He has hit 5 home runs, hitting .208. And he runs pretty well. So Valenzuela's in a mess with a single and 2 walks. 1 out here in the first inning. Dodgers lead by a run, and Valenzuela's in jeopardy. Here's the look down, the pitch to Kingman. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And Dave was trying to hit that one out of here. As he usually does in a spot like this. Well, this is quite a matchup. The kid pitcher and the veteran home run hitter, the free swinger. So Dave Kingman waiting at the plate, and Valenzuela ready to go to work on him. Fernando has given up 2 walks back-to-back to Stearns and Youngblood. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Throw back to second base, and it's not quite in time. Stearns gets back. The pitch was low to Kingman. And Socha threw it down to second base to Davey Moak, but Stearns able to get back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Dave. Dodgers lead by a run, but the Mets have a big threat going here in the first inning. Valenzuela looks around to the bases full behind him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the stretch now, the look and the pitch on the way. Ground ball to third. Shea goes to second base. 1 down to first. Double play. Does he get out of it with a double play ball? 5, 4, 3 around the horn. And Fernando does it again. He pulls out a stick, and out he comes. No run. 1 hit. The Mets lead 2, and the score at the end of 1. Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
Enjoy a dining adventure at the Holiday Inn's Patio Restaurant on Singer Island. Sunday through Thursday, try the delicious buffet with a pasta bar, a fruit and salad bar, carved roast beef, broiled fish of the day, and their special recipe chicken for $6.95. The buffet table features an incomparable 40-item salad bar, complete with fresh vegetables and salad delights, the chef's daily specials, and their 3 special soups and 3 hot vegetables to choose from. The Patio Restaurant's Buffet, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday through Thursday. No reservations needed. All you can eat. There's plenty of parking and a great view of the pool and ocean at the Patio Restaurant, Holiday Inn, Singer Island. Join in tonight for an adventure in dining. The Patio Restaurant, Singer Island. The Bell System presents Hank Williams Jr.
From Gary, Indiana, trucking down to Newport News. Got another load of steel for the shipyard men to use. He's a Bulldog diesel driver. He's 1,000 miles from home. Talking at a truck stop with his family on the phone. Reach out and touch someone. Wherever he goes, people at home know how much he really cares. Take it from someone who knows the road seems a whole lot shorter when you pick up the phone and call home. Riding blacktop rivers from the Great Lakes to the sea. Reaching out to those he loves to keep him company. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out, call up and just say hi.
Away. Bounce foul. It bounces up and hits him off the left side. And Mike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Socha in Philadelphia went 0 for 4, 0 for 8, and 0 for 11. So Mike had gone home and didn't do well there, but he played well behind the plate. But didn't do too well with the bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Ground ball hit behind second base. Flynn over there to backhand it. Turns and throws and gets him. So Socha, who'd gone 0 for 11, is now 0 for 12. And here's Russell coming on. Billy has hit in 5 straight now. He got a base hit his last time up last night in the ninth inning. So Russell, the batter, with Valenzuela to follow. And Fernando up the steps. The Dodgers won and the Mets nothing. First meeting of the year between the two clubs. Here's the look and the pitch on the way. Taken outside for a ball. The Dodgers need one more win on this trip to make sure they will come home with at least as many wins as losses. They are 4-3 now with 3 games left to play. And the pitch, Russell takes low and inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. The Dodgers left home 2.5 games ahead, and they're now 4 ahead. So they picked up a game and a half on the road trip. Now the pitch. Russell looks at one outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Atlanta is currently in second place with Cincinnati third, and Atlanta has started off tonight against Chicago leading 2-1. Russell looks, and that one's in there for a strike, 3-1. Houston and Cincinnati no score. They're in the 4th inning, and boy, the Reds got a tough one yesterday. They lost a doubleheader to Pittsburgh. It's Sutton going against Seaver tonight. Russell, a line drive to third baseman Brooks. So Russell hit it hard, and Brooks at third, playing up a little bit, spun around as he got it. And now here comes Fernando. Valenzuela coming on. Valenzuela with 7 hits and 19 trips to the plate, and 2 runs batted in. So with 2 away, Fernando comes up. Left-hand hitter. And the pitch is over for a strike. When Fernando came on the field tonight to take batting practice, you would have thought we were at the World Series. He was followed by about 15 or 20 reporters, cameramen, newsreels, and what have you. They were all following him into the batting cage. He swings and misses on an off-speed pitch, strike 2. You would have thought Babe Ruth was coming out there to take batting practice. Well, he's a pretty good hitter, but they just wanted to get all kinds of shots for him. The media has really grasped Fernando, and they've really taken a hold of him. The pitch, swing and a miss, foul tipped actually, and he's still up there. As Trevino can't hold it. So the count is still strike 2. Here's the pitch from Scott. High for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strikes, 2 outs, nobody on base. And Scott's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Valenzuela strikes out to retire the side. That's the first strikeout for Scott. Dodgers gone in order, and the score at the end of an inning and a half. The Dodgers won and the Mets nothing.
Hi, honey.
How's jogging again this morning?
Yep, those pounds are falling away.
I know it is.
Thank you. Now for a couple of eggs. Let's see. So I have toast, hard toast, or soft toast.
You're really in there.
Oh, eggs are great. And you know, a large egg only has 80 calories.
So eggs have to cut calories.
Food costs too. You know, at 90 cents a dozen, large eggs are just 60 cents a pound.
That does it.
Where are you going?
Jogging to the store to get another dozen eggs.
Incredible, edible eggs.
A message from the American Egg Board.
For the National Association of Realtors, this is Greg Morris. Home financing can be affordable, even with today's high interest rates. Find out about the many kinds of financing available today, like variable rate mortgages, or loans from the seller, or existing mortgages that you can assume. To find the home you want with monthly payments you can afford, talk to a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
Well, Fernando warming up now with Hubie Brooks, Alex Trevino, and Doug Flynn due up here in the last half of the second. And Valenzuela got out of that first inning, even though he was a little wild. He walked Stearns and Youngblood, but then got Kingman to hit into a double play. So he will now start Hubie Brooks, who's out of Compton, California. We had a lot of players we've seen around the big leagues now coming out of the Compton area. And Hubie Brooks went to the same school that Landro went to, Dominguez High in Compton. So Hubie Brooks, a pretty good friend of Landro's. Of course, we saw Dick Davis last night in Philadelphia. He's also out of Compton. Brooks was at Arizona State. He graduated with a BS degree in health science and began playing professionally in 1978. QB Brooks. Valenzuela delivers, and the fastball is in there at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Brooks one time had a 36-game hitting streak in college. Earned All-American honors. That time as a shortstop. Bouncing ball foul past Chuck Cottier down the line, and it's strike 2 to Brooks. He was an All-American outfielder in college, and then the next year or two, outstanding infielder. He played college ball with Bob Warner of the Braves. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play. Brooks holds the Arizona State record for the highest career batting average of .396. And he was drafted 6 times before signing with the Mets. Boy, he was choosy. He waited till he got the right offer. Brings a ground ball wide of third. Through the left field, a base hit. That ball just under stage glove, and so Brooks is on with the second hit of the game, and he's the second man to lead off for the Mets with a base hit. Here's Trevino coming on now. Alex Trevino, and we finally found somebody that knows Valenzuela from the past. Trevino is from Mexico. He is from Monterrey, Mexico. But he's a native Mexican, and he started his playing career in 1973, so the catcher Trevino is up now with a runner at first base. So, fellow nationals, Trevino and Valenzuela. I think they played against each other in some winter games, Winter League, Mexico. There's a ground ball back to the middle, right to his leg, and Russell up with a break to play, not in time. That ball got right through Trevino's leg. And usually Valenzuela will make the play on that kind of a ball. Russell went behind the bag to flag it down, but he couldn't make the play in time. And here is Doug Flynn coming up. Valenzuela has shown that he's a very good fielder. The bat one apparently just bounced right on by him. The instant he left the bat, you saw double play, but he didn't come up with it. Went right through. And here's Flynn at bat, and he's been one of the hot hitters for the Mets, hitting .347. Doug at the fly ball to right field. Guerrero right there, ready to make the catch. Brooks will tag and not go as the throw comes across to Russell. Good, strong throw. So one out as Flynn flies to right. That brings on the pitcher, Mike Scott. Dodgers lead 1-0. Scott has 1 hit in 5 at bats. So that doesn't give you much of a line on how good a hitter he is. All right, here is Scott at bat, and the Dodgers now pull the infield up at the corner looking for the bunt. As Valenzuela set the pitch. Down low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, Kenny Reese has hit a 2-run home run, and the Chicago Cubs have taken a 3-2 lead over the Braves down in Georgia. Giants in Montreal 1-1. 5th inning, San Diego leads Philadelphia 4-1 in the 3rd. Pickoff bluff, no throw. Fernando wheeled the throw back there, but he saw Brooks was too close to the bag. Scott waiting, and the pitch. Bunted in the air, and it'll be untouched, out of play. Foul ball high in the air, off to the left. So 1 ball, 1 strike count to Scott. Trying to bunt him over for Lee Mazzilli, who's due up next. Singles by Brooks and Trevino to open the inning. Trevino's hit right through Fernando's leg. Finally flagged down by Russell behind second base. No chance for a play. Through too late to first base. Okay, Valenzuela set again. And the Dodgers put a play on, looking for the bunt, and the pitch is in there for a called strike. And Scott let it go by knee high, 1-2. The Dodgers had Russell going to third, Lopes going to first, and Shea and Garvey charging the plate. Now we'll see if they look for Scott to bunt again. Valenzuela up with the arm. There's the look, and here's the pitch. He's around the bunt, fouls it away, and he's out on strike. So Fernando gets his second strikeout. That'll bring on Mazzilli, who singled to left field his first time up. Lee Mazzilli. Sunday, warm-up times will be 10:45 here on the Dodger Radio Network. And back home Tuesday to open up a big homestand, Montreal first team in. Lee Mazzilli having a little trouble getting started off, hitting 153. As an all-star center fielder for the Mets. Swings and misses. Fastball. He was going for a big one that time. Man's batting from the right side. Strike one count. Dodgers player almost straight away against Mazzilli now. Dodgers won and the Mets nothing, bottom of the second. 2 on, 2 out the pitch. Too high for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fernando's been a little bit wild so far. He walked 2 in the first inning. He's given up 3 hits, so the Mets have had base runners in both innings. But a double play in the first inning got him out of it as he got Kingman to hit one to save. 1-1 the count. And Valenzuela set again. Here's the look and the pitch to Mazzilli. Outside, he turned it over. Missed with it, 2-1. So the screwball has been giving him a little trouble tonight. He hasn't been able to locate it right. And he'll take another little walk down behind the mound. So Fernando still not quite right with his control. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. Way high, ball 3, 3-1. Looks like he tried to throw a curveball that time and didn't get it in there. 3-1 the count. 2 out. Fernando back on top again. Now he looks in for a sign. Checks the runners. Brooks and Trevino off the bases. And the 3-1 pitch. It's low. He walks it to load him up for the second time. That's the third walk given up by Valenzuela. It brings on Baylor. So the Mets had him loaded in the first inning, 1 out. Didn't score. Loaded in the second inning, 2 out. Wishful speed. Baylor hitting .333. He's hit safely in 5 out of 6. So Baylor at that. And Fernando's playing with dynamite. He's been in trouble. Dodgers moving Guerrero a little bit toward the right field line and up a step or 2. Fastball is a strike, 0-1. So Valenzuela, as we said, in his past games, he's been in trouble early and then gets better as he goes. So we'll see if that pattern follows tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Baylor. Swinging a miss. Good screwball. He really threw up a dandy that time. That's the best one he's thrown tonight. So 0-2 count. He threw up a dandy that time to Baylor. He got Baylor on strike the first time up. All right, Valenzuela. Time to get out of it for the second straight inning. The windup, and here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Struck him out looking at a fastball. So he set him up and struck him out. Balances the book. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 left on base, and 2 hits for the Mets. The score at the end of 2, Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
Hello there. I know that you're not going to believe me, but this is the ghost of former President Millard Fillmore, reporting from that great big Oval Office in the sky. Every weekday, a lot of us former presidents get together up here, and we gather around our radios to listen to WJNO News Radio down there in West Palm Beach. The reason? We hear a lot of informative political talk and all sorts of other interesting conversation on The Mike Levine Show. It's on the air at 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Oh, he's quite a guy, that Mike Levine. You really ought to hear him. Daily, 10 a.m. and again at 1 p.m. WJNO News Radio. Gotta go now. This call's costing me a fortune.
Your weekend two-way telephone talk alternative, Alan Moore Off the Wall. Join me Sunday nights here on WJNO West Palm Beach.
Trying to establish the screwball, but so far he's only had a couple of them good ones. He got a good strike to Baylor on the screwball, then struck him out with a fastball. Sometimes it takes a pitcher a little while to get that pitch established. Speaking of great pitchers, we have a message for our good friend Sandy Kopak, who we hope is listening to the broadcast in his home up in Central California. And the message is, hello from an old friend. And Sandy will know who we mean. He went to school with this fellow. Shea. Davey Lopes, the batter. Davey grounded out on a good play by Doug Flynn his first time up. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. Scott delivers high, ball one. 1 ball and no strike. 1-0 the count. Shea Stadium all dressed up. Centers are painted. The grass is green. Good shape. Lopes lines one at shortstop. Short hop by Baylor. Up with it. He throws in time. So Lopes tonight could be 2 for 2. He's hit the ball hard. Once at Flynn and now at Baylor. 1 hop to the shortstop. 1 down. Here's Landreau, who got on an error by shortstop Baylor. Stood second on a balk and scored on Baker's base hit. So here's Landreau. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, no score second inning. San Diego, Philadelphia, 4-1 bottom of the third. San Francisco 2-1 over Montreal, bottom of the fifth. Chicago 3, Atlanta 2, and that's in the top of the 6th inning now. And the Reds have come up with 2 on Houston and lead 2-0 in the top of the 5th inning at Cincinnati. Landreau looks at one outside, ball 1. American League, Boston leads Toronto 4-0 in the 5th. Baltimore, Texas, no score in the 2nd inning. Cleveland, Minnesota, no score in the 2nd, and nothing else underway as yet. Landreau looks at one inside for a ball, and the count is 2 balls, no strikes to Kenny Landreau. He's having a marvelous road trip. He's had 12 hits. And he scores a lot of runs, does Landreau. Here's the windup by Scott in the 2-0 pitch. Kenny takes that high for ball 3. During the streak, he has 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in, and 11 runs scored. And 4 stolen bases. Boy, he's been doing it all. The 3-0 pitch. In on the corner for a strike, 3-1. Landreau's average 327. Double 4. Kenny Landreau. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. So he's making Scott go all the way with him. 1 out of the 3rd inning, and the Dodgers lead the Mets 1-0. They had a tough time here last year, losing the first 4 they played in New York last season. Landreau looks at strike 3. Good slider on the inside corner. Kenny was tied up on that one. Couldn't get the bat out of there. And so he goes down on strike. Second strikeout for Scott. And it brings on Dusty Baker, who singled to drive in the Dodger run in the 1st inning. Baker, who has hit well against New York. 291 lifetime average. 7 home runs. And 16 RBIs last year for a .429 percentage. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. And Scott is doing okay out there. The Dodgers should not have scored. Landreau got on an error, and then apparently was picked off, but Scott had balked. And so Landreau was awarded second base instead of being picked off. Then Baker's single got him home, and Scott delivers again. Strike 2. He's throwing hard. 2 hits for the Dodgers and 3 for New York. 1 ball, no strike. Scott checking his signs into the windup and the pitch. Baker looks at slow. Ball 1, 1, and 2. Nice crowd on hand. Tomorrow, Sutcliffe and Roberts. Sunday, Welch and Jones, and the Dodgers are back home, opening up the homestand with Montreal. Baker swings on a curveball and fouls it away. Strike 2. 1 and 2. On the homestand, it's due to be Houghton, Royce, and Valenzuela, who had stacked up for the first 3 games. 1 and 2. Montreal in for the first 3, followed by New York, and then by Philadelphia. Baker backed away for fastball, 2 and 2. So Tuesday, Montreal, and then on the weekend, it'll be Jacket Weekend. Dodger Jackets, so all youngsters over the weekend. Next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 balls, 2 strikes to pitch to Baker. Low for a ball, 3 and 2. So Landreau got to a 3-ball count and struck out. Baker was 0 and 2, and now he's gone to a 3 and 2 count. So we'll see if it reverses the procedure. Here's the windup and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Foul away into the Dodger dugout. Well, the presence of Valenzuela has lured a lot of the members of the media. He has been well covered here. He also has lured the commissioner of baseball, Bowie Coons, the president of the National League, Charlie Feeney. Chuck Feeney's here. So they're all out to see the Dodger rookie. Baker fouls one straight back, 3 and 2. But I still like the line in the Montreal paper that even though Valenzuela plays for the Dodgers, he belongs to all of us in baseball. And that's the feeling we get as Fernando goes around, at least at this early stage. But, of course, it's very early in his career. He's done a great job getting it started. 3-2, Baker waits, and the pitch on the way. Ground ball hits just fair down the right field line on a check swing. Baker's around first, headed for two, and he will make it easily as he checked his swing, and the ball hit off the bat. The bat was up around his ear, and Baker gets a ho-hum double. Well, Dusty's lost a lot of them. He's going to take that one, kind of grinning as he stands at second base. He was just trying to get out of the way of that one, and instead winds up with a double down the right field line. The thing you think about some of the drives that Baker has hit the deep center field the last 3 or 4 games, and you say, well, he had one coming. Here's Garvey at bat, grounded to shortstop first time up. Time called as the next first baseman, John Stearns, comes over to look at the trainer and manager Joe Torrey. When Stearns ran down in the corner to pick up that ball, apparently he did something to his hand, and he's getting a little first aid. Of course, he has that bad finger, and Stearns is walking over towards the dugout. We'll see whether he's going to get the first aid down. He had almost the same finger problem that did Billy Russell, and he's got a crooked index finger on the throwing hand, and he's having a look at now. While he gets a little first aid, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
This is WJNO West Palm Beach. All news, all day.
Stearns has gone down the runway to get a little first aid. I don't know whether he cut his finger or not. When he was reaching for the ball down in the corner around the top roller, he indicated to Joe Torrey that something happened to the finger when he was down there chasing that ball. And then he came back, and now he has gone down to the tunnel and getting some first aid. Meanwhile, Scott stands on the mound waiting for him. Baker's at second base with his second hit of the game. And Dusty's going to take that one. Checked his swing, and the ball rolled right down the line over the bag, fair ball. Didn't hit it very hard, but he got it where it counted. So Stearns was chasing that ball down, and they rolled all the way down the warning track beyond the top roller, and the first baseman was the first man to get to it. See if we can see what happened when we look at the replay. Looks like Stearns made a grab at the ball with his glove, and he might have put his hand up on the box seat railing to keep from bumping into it, and perhaps he caught a piece of a loose wire or something. But he's getting first aid treatment. And Stearns went down in there to pick up that ball, and he hasn't come back as yet. He's down in the dugout, and actually he's gone to the clubhouse. He'll be able to continue, apparently. That's why they're waiting. Here he comes. And we'll see if he has his finger taped up or not. That's a delicate finger for him. Looks like he might have skinned the back of his hand. It looked like it's back on the palm of the hand where he kind of scraped it against the wire fence. So he's all right. He got a little piece of tape on it, and it had nothing to do with the finger. It's just on the back of the hand. All right. Garvey stepping in. Runner on second base. Baker 2 outs. Dodgers lead 1-0. Top of the third inning. And it's Fernando Valenzuela night here in the Big Apple in Shea Stadium, New York. Here's the stretch of a pitch to Garvey. Slider for a strike, 0-1. Garvey with 18 runs batted in and a .259 average. He was down around 220 earlier in the road trip, but he's now picking it up a bit. Got the winning run in last night when he had 2 hits. Scott ready. And the pitch. High foul out of play. That'll carry in the stands behind the Dodger dugout. Way back in there. 0-2. Third inning. Garvey trying to pick up Baker with 2 outs here in the third. Dodgers have had trouble scoring runs in the last 2 games in Philadelphia, but they won both games 2-1. They're ahead 1-0 here tonight. Here's the look now, the pitch on the way. Garvey takes high for the ball, 1-2. The Dodgers' starting pitching has been excellent. The bullpen has been at times spotty, at times okay. The hitting is improving a little bit. So when they get those bats up around where they should be, around the 265 or 70 mark, the runs will start coming a little easier. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a fastball. Garvey reached for one and goes down on strike. Scott got his 3rd strikeout of the game, and the Dodgers leave Baker at second base. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. The score going to the bottom of the third. Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
The Crime Prevention Coalition and the Ad Council presents McGruff, the Crime Dog.
Listen to this song and you'll get some tips that'll help take a bite out of crime. If you're making modest money or are in the tips, you should help take a bite out of crime. So in your home or store, always lock your door, night or day, wherever you stay. When you knock out, hey, the robbers go away, and it's taking a bite out of crime. When the weather's too hot to keep your windows shut, here's a way to take a bite out of crime. Found a nail in the frame about 2 inches up, and you can take a bite out of crime. And when you're out of town, let your neighbors know that you're not around, so that they can know and get your own periodic cleaner. Taking a bite out of crime. Start chewing. Take a bite out of crime.
For more tips, write Box 6600, Rockville, Maryland, 20850. And help?
Take a bite out of crime.
Valenzuela. Time call for a moment. Something came out of the bleachers in left field, and Landro has to go out and clear it off. So time for the moment before Stern steps in. The Dodgers leading 1-0, but we've had a tough time here at Shea Stadium over the last year or so. Last year, as we told you, they lost the first 4 and then won the last 2. Stern's a pop fly in the right field near the line. Guerrero coming for it. He's there now and makes the catch for the out. So 1 away on a fly ball to right. That brings on Youngblood, and for the first time tonight, Valenzuela gets the first batter out. Last year, the Dodgers lost 5-4 in the first game they played here. They lost 6-2 in 10 innings on a grand slam home run by Mike Jorgensen. They lost 6-5. They lost 4-2, and then they turned it around and won the 4-2 and 3-2. So they had some tough times here. They were outscored in Shea by the Mets 25-20. But at home, they outscored the Mets 28-19 and winning 5 out of 6. All right, 1 out, bottom of the third. Valenzuela waiting for the jet to fly over. As Youngblood steps in, Youngblood walked his first time up. Kingman is on deck. Here's Fernando's pitch. Swing and a miss at the screwball, strike 1. In the first 2 innings, he had the feeling that Fernando was a little wild in the strike zone, trying to get the pitches a little too fine, maybe, and he walked 3, wound up walking 3. So he now pitching to Youngblood, a right-hand batter. Screwball and land 1 hop past Russell in the left field. Billy couldn't judge it, and Youngblood is on with a base hit. He zipped that one right by Russell, who waited for a hop, and the ball hopped right under his glove. So Billy couldn't handle that one, and here's Dave Kingman coming up. Ball took 1 bad hop and seemed to bounce right over Russell's glove. All right, Kingman at bat, grounded into double play his first time up. Dave hitting 208. 4 hits now for the Mets. They've had 1 in every inning, at least 2 in the last inning. Kingman looks low for a ball. Fastball. All right, a 1-ball, no strike count for Big Dave Kingman. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. Valenzuela ready to work to him now. Fernando has struck out 3, walked 3, the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he takes the screwball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kingman. Hubie Brooks on deck. Youngblood, a hard smash past shortstop, bounced right over Russell's glove. All right, a 1-1 count. And the pitch, swing and a miss, letter high fastball, strike 2. 1-2 to Kingman. Valenzuela trying to get his 7th consecutive win here at the start of the year, and his 9th at the start of his career. 1-2 look in the pitch to Dave. Struck him out. Fastball, and down goes Kingman. Strikeout number 4. Go away, and the batter will be Hubie Brooks. Hubie Brooks, who singled his last time up. The Mets loaded the bases in the first inning, and with one out, Kingman bounced into double play. They loaded the bases with 2 out in the second inning, and Bob Baylor struck out. Now they have a runner at first and 2 out. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Sosa's throw is going to be on a bounce, and it bounces up and hits the runner in the face. Youngblood got hit by that one on a bounce, and Fernando forgot to hold him on. Sosa's throw bounced out there, and he didn't have much chance. It bounced up and hit Youngblood on the side of the face and then rolled off towards shortstop. And Youngblood is wiping his face as he slides in with a steal. So Valenzuela, who had been really adept at holding runners on and has picked off several, really let Youngblood get a big lead as if he just almost forgot about him. Strike one count to Brooks. So Fernando might have had his concentration taken away there for a moment. Here's the look in the pitch. Foul out of play. Strike 2 to Hubie Brooks. Strike 2 count, 2 outs, runner on second base. The Mets with a 7-14 record now to give the Dodgers a hard time. They have certainly been pesky. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball missed outside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Third inning, last half. Cubs lead Atlanta 3-2 in the 6th. Now the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2, 2-2. Cincinnati leads Houston 2-0. Now they're in the 6th inning. We're only in the 3rd here. All right, at 2-2 count. Hubie Brooks waiting in the pitch. High, ball 3, 3-2. So Valenzuela, who was 0-2 on the hitter, now goes to 3-2. He is not as sharp as he was in his last outing in Montreal. But he really breezed through 21 straight hitters. Well, you can understand. A lot of commotion, a lot of excitement. Been quite a trip for the young man, coming to cities he's never seen before. 3-2, the look, and the pitch on the way. Ball 4, outside. That's 4 walks. And you know he's a little wild when you walk 4 men. Here is his countryman, Alex Trevino, coming on. An 8-game hitting streak, extended to 9 with a base hit here a while ago. He hit one right through Valenzuela's leg for a base hit. So the Mets have had runners all over the place so far. Have been able to get them in. As Valenzuela continues to do his high wire act. Now he has Trevino up there, the Mets catcher. Here's the pitch. Strike on a fastball, 0-1. It has been control that has made Fernando so successful. It has been poor control that has kept him in hot water thus far tonight. 1 strike count. But he's still leading 1-0. Here's the look, here's the pitch. Curve is a little high, 1-1. His fastball's okay, but you can't keep throwing fastballs. His breaking pitch and the screwballs just have to come into the strike zone like he usually gets it there. All right, 1-1 with 2 outs. Now the pitch. That's low, ball 2, 2-1. He's making a lot of pitches tonight also, which is something he has not been doing in the past. 2-1, 2 away. Valenzuela set. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Tap foul off the third base side of the Dodger dugout. 2-2 with 2 out and 2 on. Youngblood at second base, and Hubie Brooks is at first. 2-2. All right, Trevino waiting. Good hitter. And the pitch. Foul back over the screen. Now loading, 2-2. San Diego leads Philadelphia 4-1 in the 3rd inning. Pittsburgh, St. Louis no score in the 3rd inning. Kansas City got 3 on Chicago in the 1st inning. All right, here's the look. And the pitch on the way. A little high with a curve, 3-2. Well, the runners get an extra start now. That means Youngblood at second base and Brooks at first, ready to go. 3-2 for Trevino, and he's walked 4 and struck out 4. Here's the stretch, the look, and the 3-2 pitch. foul back. Gave a fastball, and he fouled it away. The count holding 3-2. Back him up and do it again. Dodgers lead 1-0 last half of the third inning in New York. Game is a little over an hour long now. So close 3 innings. Here's the pitch. There they go. Ground ball back to Fernando. He has it. He throws him out, and the inning is over. So he got a comeback, and they're all gone. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 more left on. The Mets have left 7 in 3 turns at bat. And the score at the end of 3, Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
Tire Kingdom announces a one-time only sale on Michelin millimetric radial tires. 11 tire sizes are on sale, and that covers virtually 85% of all domestic passenger cars. The sale includes domestic, imports, high-performance truck and RV Michelin tires. A 185/14 is just $46.95 plus tax, and there's no mounting charge with standard rims. Low prices and good service have made the Tire Kingdom one of the fastest-growing Michelin tire dealers in the country. Remember, it's Tire Kingdom's one-time only sale on Michelin millimetric radial tires. Replace your worn-out tires now with top-quality Michelin millimetric radials, now at unbeatable savings. Tire Kingdom for expert tire service and utmost satisfaction. Tire Kingdom in Stewart, Lake Park, West Palm Beach, Delray Beach, and Fort Lauderdale. It's Tire Kingdom's Michelin millimetric radial tire sale. Don't miss it.
Florida's most unique call-in program is heard Sunday nights here on WJNO West Palm Beach. I'm Alan Moore. Join me for Alan Moore Off the Wall this Sunday.
The Dodgers and the Mets as they go to the 4th inning. The Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. The Mets, no runs, 4 hits and an error. And Ron Shea fouls the first pitch away in the count 0-1. Ron Shea singled in the first inning. So Shea getting a leg hit. You don't see many of those. Mike Scott pitching very well, and the young right-hander comes high and inside to Shea. 1 ball, 1 strike. The only run was a charmed run. Landro, aboard on an error, was picked off and declared out by first base umpire Pooley. Plate umpire Nick Colosi overruled the call, claiming balk. So Landro went to second, and Baker's single drove him home. And the pitch to Shea high and inside. 2-1. Pedro Guerrero on deck, and then Mike Shoship. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up. Scott delivers, and it's swung on and missed. Pretty good sinking fastball down and away. Boy, Valenzuela is unbelievable. He's in more trouble tonight. The Mets have left 7. Valenzuela, of course, no matter how many escapes, he's making too many pitches. There he fouls it away upstairs. Valenzuela, for all intents and purposes, doesn't have a screwball tonight. He just can't throw it for a strike. 2-2. The count to Shea. Mike into the windup. The right-hander's 2-2 pitch. Fastball. Line drive. That's shortstop Baylor. So Shea hits it hard at the shortstop. 1 away. And the batter Guerrero, who hit into a force play in the first inning, grounding it to Hubie Brooks. And that's with Mike Scott and Alex Trevino. Then you have John Stearns, Gus Flynn, Bob Baylor, and Hubie Brooks. With Dave Kingman, Lee Mazzilli, and Joe Youngblood in the outfield. And a slider for a strike. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Scott up on top, looks down at Trevino. Now the the big blonde who was born in Santa Monica, raised in Hawthorne, into the windup, and the strike one breaking ball over. Strike two, 0-2. The Mets are struggling. The best thing they have going for them right now is Neil Allen in the bullpen. But unfortunately, their starting pitchers have been bruised and battered early. And the Mets find themselves having to try and catch up. There's a slider for a strike. And Guerrero is caught looking. 4 strikeouts for Mike Scott. So with all the talk and fuss and feathers about Valenzuela, and with all of Valenzuela's troubles, and with all the magic that he has still come up with to extricate himself, quietly going along is Mike Scott, having allowed just 1 run and 3 hits. Dorsey grounded out, second to first in the second inning. And he hits a fastball to the left side. That means Vela has a long throw, but he gets him, and the Dodgers have done easily in the 4th. At the end of 3.5 innings, the Dodgers won, and the Mets nothing.
Time, and that means it's time to plan ahead. So pick a pair of 6-packs, 12-packs, or even cases. It's the smart way to buy the king of beer.
The Dodgers leading the Mets 1-0. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Mets. Fernando Valenzuela has stranded 7 runners. The Mets loaded the bases in the first inning, and Valenzuela got Kingman to hit into a double play. Then in the second inning, they loaded the bases, and he struck out Bob Baylor. In the third inning, the Mets had 2 on with 2 out, and Trevino hit one hard. But Valenzuela stayed with it to throw him out. The big problem for Valenzuela, however, he has made so many pitches in the first 3 innings that sooner or later they're going to take their toll. Unless he can do a complete about-face and start throwing strikes, particularly with the screwball. For New York, Doug Flynn will start it off. Then it'll be Mike Scott and the center fielder, Lee Mazzilli. Flynn flied to right in the second inning, 0 for 1. Of all the statistical information that you can get, and you can get a lot in this day and age, there's a drive into right center field. On the dead run is Landreau to one-handed. The most shocking bit of information is the fact that second to Mike Schmidt in slugging percentage in the National League is Doug Flynn. He hit a home run yesterday. It was his first home run since 1979 in September. Only the 7th home run in his entire career, which ties him with pitcher Dave Roberts, who pitches tomorrow. And yet he's number 2 in slugging percentage. Or was. And here's Mike Scott. Fastball outside. 1-0. Have you ever heard of Secaucus, New Jersey? Here's a 1-0 pitch on the way. Valenzuela misses with a screwball. Ball 2. Well, at one time, a farmer in Secaucus, New Jersey, ran for the presidency. Didn't get very far. But Secaucus is known as a great center for pigs. Fastball in for a strike, turn on. In fact, when you drive through Secaucus, you know it. I mean, the odor, it's malodorous. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Mike Scott. Fastball swung on it. Well, anyway, the Joe Pignatano fan club from Secaucus, New Jersey is here tonight. And, of course, Joe for years had the nickname Piggy. Still does. 2-2 pitch. Fastball on the inside corner, and that takes care of Scott. And despite his problems, that's also 5 strikeouts for Valenzuela. And with 2 out in the 4th inning, Lee Mazzilli coming up. Mazzilli singled in the first inning and walked 1 for 1. Mazzilli, an all-star 2 years ago, is really having his problems this year, but like Davey Lopes. Remember, Lopes had a great spring, felt sensational, and just can't buy a hit. Same thing for Mazzilli. Mazzilli has had some problems. He's had a sore elbow, a sore wrist, an ankle. He's had back spasms. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Mazzilli, who is hitting 164. He has a single and a walk with a stolen base. The strike one pitch. Curveball hit to center, going back to Landreau, and would you believe it, a 1-2-3 inning for Valenzuela. Just what the doctor ordered. And at the end of 4, Dodgers 1, Mets nothing.
This is the play.
Randy's brand new too.
Hi, I'm Randy. Can I help you?
Hey, it's Randy.
He looks just like he sounds.
Hey, brand new the way you do in the commercial.
You'd be amazed how compelling a creative radio commercial can be.
They must cost you a fortune.
No.
No?
No, radio costs a lot less to produce than TV commercials. And radio time is a lot less, too.
Was that a true that you used on that one?
Oh, you caught on, didn't you?
Oh.
Are you a working couple?
Oh, yes, I'm a doctor.
I'm a nurse.
You know, that's interesting. Radio advertising is the medium to use for getting to professional women and working couples.
That's us.
You like the commercial, huh?
Yeah.
Well, listen to the radio next week. Randy's brand new surprise week.
Oh.
You know part of the surprise? I recorded all this. I'm going to use this as a radio commercial for next week.
Honey, we're going to be in showbiz.
No, better than showbiz. You're going to be on the radio.
Am I dressed right? Radio. Red hot because it works. With couples who work. They're your prime customers today, and radio fits their busy lifestyle best. The Radio Advertising Bureau can send you more facts. This station can send you more customers.
He had a construction crew on the dock.
Dodgers, no runs, 4 hits for the Mets. Tell you why we're chuckling. Bill Russell fouls the first one away. They have a thing here at Shea Stadium called Magic Moment. I guess they just pick a seat. And one of the prizes for the fan in that seat was 60 bags of tortilla chips. Here's the strike one pitch to Russell. Rolling away, 1-1. That's a nice convenient prize. Russell lined out to Hubie Brooks in the second inning. Still 0 for 1. Hitting 225. Mike Scott ready, delivers. Fast one swung on and missed. 1-2 the count to Bill Russell. Mike Scott, big man for the Waves. The Pepperdine Waves out in Malibu. Now the 1-2 pitch to Bill Russell. Breaking ball, fouled, and the bat goes all the way down towards Hubie Brooks. So Russell losing control, and it's still 1-2. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. So Bill Russell leading off the 5th inning. The Dodgers have just 1 hit. That was a check swing double since the first inning. A bouncer back to the mound. Scott has it, throws him out. And now here comes Fernando Valenzuela. He struck out in the second inning. So Valenzuela coming out. 1 away in the 5th inning. Trevino calling the pitches behind the plate. Fastball is down and away, ball 1. Trevino played at Hermosillo in the Mexican League. So I'm sure he has seen Valenzuela pitch and hit many times. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike. So he gave him a lot of breaking balls to strike him out the first time. Now he gives him some heat. 2 fastballs and the count 1-1. Scott checking signs. Now the right-hander into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch, fastball, nub foul to the left of the plate. 1-2. Fernando hitting .350.
Fernando Valenzuela. 1-0 Dodgers. 5th inning, 1 out. And the next one fooled him completely. So Valenzuela strikes out for the second time. Changeup got him this time. That's 5 strikeouts for Mike Scott. And with 2 out, Davey Lopes has hit the ball pretty hard tonight, but he's 0 for 2. Grounded to second, grounded to short. Lopes with Kenny Landreau on deck. And evidently, Mike Scott went to his mouth while on the mound. I would assume in weather like this, they would have made a pregame agreement. But Harvey apparently said he did, and there was no agreement. So 1 ball and no strikes to count. Okay. I mean, it's not warm. It's certainly that he's not trying to take unfair advantage. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Davey Lopes. Fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 to count. Dodgers scored in the first inning, and that's it. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Mike Scott checking. Trevino setting his target, and the 1-1 pitch. High, ball 2. 2-1. 3:38 down the lines. 4:10 to straightaway center. And the fences fall away. 358, 371, 396. It's a big ballpark. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Fast one inside. Moving Lopes out of there. Ball 3. 3-1. Nick Colosi, the plate umpire. Frank Cooley at first. Eric Gregg at second. Doug Harvey at third. There's his shot towards left center, but Mazzilli is there to handle it. So Lopes has hit the ball about as hard tonight as he has in any game this year. But he's still 0 for 3. 7 in a row retired. The end of 4.5 innings. Dodgers 1, Mets nothing.
Bill Cosby here.
Bottom of the 5th inning with the Dodgers leading the Mets 1-0. Fernando Valenzuela tuning up to Mike Socia. For New York, Bob Baylor, John Stearns, and Joel Youngblood. Then if anybody gets on, Dave Kingman. So the Mets, who left 7 men in the first 3 innings, were retired in order for the first time tonight in the 4th inning. And we'll see how Fernando goes with Baylor. Bob Baylor has struck out twice. The second time was the big one. He struck out with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. Valenzuela checking Socia. Fernando into the windup. And the first pitch to Baylor is the screwball hit foul outside of third. 0-1. Chuck Cottier coaching at third. Darren Johnson coaching at first for New York. 0-1 to Bob Baylor. Boy, imagine he played 7 positions last year. 0-1 to count. Fastball, but that's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. This game is being televised to Mexico City. It's also an international broadcast, so Fernando's family can hear it. They can't see it, but they can hear it on Mexican radio. Pitch fouled away, and the count 1-2. Tremendous interest in the 20-year-old. One run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Mets. Now Fernando's 1-2 pitch on the way. Outside and high, ball 2. 2-2. Most of his pitches have been high. Most of his screwballs have been high and away. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball popped in the air, foul. Garvey across the line, coming to the boxes. The ball comes back to him, and he makes the catch. It looked like that was going to go in the stand. And then suddenly it started to drift the other way because there's a very light breeze. And it figured. John Stearns. 1 away, and John Stearns, the batter. Stearns walked and flied to right, 0 for 1. John hitting 194. Catcher, first baseman. Valenzuela delivers, fastball for a strike, 0-1. The Mets, of course, lost 2 of their mainstays in the pitching. Craig Swan and Tim Leary. Next one over for a strike, 0-2. Swan suffered a fractured rib in a freak play when Ron Hodges was trying to throw down to second to get Tim Raines of Montreal, who was stealing. And the throw hit Swan. The strike 2 pitch fouled away. Tim Leary
pitched almost the last exhibition game and went a great 7 innings but strained his elbow. Tried to pitch in Chicago for real. Couldn't do it. Fly ball into left center. Landreau will handle it. Kenny waiting, backing up a little bit, makes the catch. 2 down. And the batter will be Joel Youngblood. Youngblood walked in the first inning. Singled in the third. The most exaggerated changeup that we've seen Valenzuela throw since he's been with the Dodgers. And Youngblood drilled it, and Russell unable to stay with the ball. The Youngblood batting .370, and on deck, Dave Kingman. Fernando reading Socha. And here he comes. Screwball hit off the end of the bat, trickling over to the Mets dugout, and the count 0-1. Well, I've had a lot of older pitchers tell us that you learn much more when you are struggling than you do when everything is going your way. And for Valenzuela, he could be learning quite a bit tonight. 1-1 the count to Joel Youngblood. The 1-1 pitch coming up. Fernando's fastball is a one-hopper scooped up by Russell, who throws him out. What a play by Bill. So that's 7 in a row retired by Valenzuela. But that thing was really ripped. And at the end of 5, Dodgers 1, Mets nothing.
Here's big news from Chef Boyardee. Now...
I know. Now you can get a good hot meal with meat with Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs.
Sure, but you also get...
U.S. government-approved beef, enriched pasta, and tangy cheese and zesty tomato sauce.
I'm talking about the Chef Boyardee Good Meals sweepstakes. You can win free groceries for a year.
Free groceries for a year? Why didn't you say so?
For details, check Sunday, May 10th paper or your Chef Boyardee supermarket display. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Now you can buy your dog or cat insurance against fleas and ticks for 5 months and protect your home and family, too. Just get your pet the Hearts 2-in-1 Plus collar, the first collar to kill fleas and ticks for 5 months. A full 5 months of effective protection. And the Hearts collar's fast-acting odorless ingredients won't vaporize, stays on your pet, keeps working even if the collar gets wet. Put the Hearts 2-in-1 Plus collar on your dog or cat now. Kills fleas and ticks for 5 months.
Florida talks, and we at News Radio listen. Join me here on WJNO News Radio this Sunday for Alan Moore Off the Wall, two-way telephone talk radio from WJNO West Palm Beach.
To the 6th inning, the Dodgers leading the Mets 1-0. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. The Mets no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Kenny Landreau, Dusty Baker, and Steve Garvey in that order. Landreau, aboard on an error, walked to second and scored on Baker's single, the only run of the game, and Kenny takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Landreau hits it foul off third. That'll slice well back out of play in the lower deck. 1-1. So the Dodgers scored in the first inning. They scored in the first inning last night and won 2-1. They scored in the second inning the night before and won 2-1. 1-1 to Kenny Landreau. Fastball swung on and foul tipped in the count 1-2. Mike Scott pitching a very good ball game, except for a tough break, first an error, and then the balk call when he had Landreau picked off. It'd be no score. Scott into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch to Landreau, curveball low and inside, ball 2, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Kenny Landreau. Fastball grounded back to first, speared by Stearns, overhands to Scott in time. Good play. One away in the 6th. And Dusty Baker singled and had a check swing double in the 3rd inning. 2 for 2. They had a birthday luncheon today in New York for Willie Mays. Boy, under the heading of Tempest Fuges, it was Willie Mays' 50th birthday. And the whole world got a lot older. Baker waiting, and Mike Scott delivers fastball low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Steve Garvey on deck. Baker hitting .333 for the home run and 10 runs batted in. Justine knocked in a run last night. He takes outside 1-1. Baker had 3 RBIs in the game in Philadelphia where the Dodgers blew a 7-5 lead. For 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Little slider that time, 1-2. When the Mets come up in the bottom of the 6th, Dave Kingman, Hubie Brooks, and Alex Trevino. Breaking ball just low. Boy, it was close, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Dusty Baker. 1 out, bases empty in the 6th inning. 1-0 Dodgers, and a breaking ball got him swinging. It was just one breaking ball after another. Half a dozen strikeouts for Mike Scott. Steve Garvey grounded to short and struck out. So Garvey is 0 for 2. 1-0 Dodgers. Ron Shea on deck. Scott checking with Trevino. Garvey waiting. He has a 5-game hitting streak. He's after a breaking ball. Doesn't get it. The count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to Garvey. Scott's next one high up above the eyes. 1 ball and 1 strike. Taking his time because Garvey backed out for the moment. Now Steve is in and Scott is ready. And the right-hander's 1-1 fastball is grounded to short. Bob Baylor picks it up and throws him out. So the Dodgers, that's 10 in a row retired by Mike Scott. At the end of 5.5 innings, Dodgers 1, Mets nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, for some time now I've been suggesting that you remember a certain car dealer's name. And I want to see if that little test is working. When I say cars, who comes to mind? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about when I say savings? Roger Dean Chevrolet. What about service and parts? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about used cars? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about trucks and high trade-ins? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about great financing? Roger Dean Chevrolet. How about big selection? Roger Dean Chevrolet. Well, I see now that perhaps you folks were listening. What do you take us for, some dumb bully or something? We wouldn't forget a name like Roger Dean Chevrolet, Sonny. Are you crazy? Roger Dean Chevrolet. Okeechobee and Congress Boulevard in West Palm Beach. A name worth repeating. Go ahead. Repeat the name. Yes, repeat the name, Sonny. It's a name worth repeating. Roger Dean Chevrolet. A name worth remembering.
Inning, with the Dodgers leading the Mets 1-0. Fernando Valenzuela, after a very rocky first 3 innings, where he was bobbing and weaving, got out of 3 big jams. The Mets left 7. Has since retired the last 7 in a row, and now he goes to work against Dave Kingman, Hubie Brooks, and Alex Trevino. With the bases loaded in the first inning and hit into a double play. Came up in the 3rd inning with a runner at second and struck out. Screwball is swung on and missed, 0-1. Valenzuela again checking signs. Fernando back to Kingman. Screwball just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't think he has thrown a screwball for a called strike tonight. 1-1. Mike Scioscia, wig-wagging a sign or two. The 1-1 pitch to Kingman, swung on and missed. Jeff Reardon begins to loosen up in the Mets bullpen. The pitch is spotted to a fifth. The big Kingman, who hit as many as 48 home runs one year, waiting at the plate. Valenzuela checking. Now to the windup, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Screwball fouled away. Big Kingman. He hurt his shoulder. He can't throw very well, and his fielding is very poor, so they tell us here in New York. But he carries thunder in that bat. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball outside and high. Ball 2. Kingman backed out for a moment. Now Big Dave back in. Valenzuela studying. And the 2-2 pitch coming up. Fernando's fastball got him swinging. Half a dozen strikeouts for Valenzuela. Remember, Fernando leads in strikeouts. He had 50 going in, Carlton 45. And he has a half a dozen so far. And with one out, Hubie Brooks singled and walked. Valenzuela delivers, and it's swung on and missed, 0-1. Since the single by Youngblood, Valenzuela has really settled down, and that single was that one exaggerated change. The only time I've seen him throw that pitch. Fastball in for a strike. 0-2 the count. Valenzuela's strike 2 pitch on the way is low. Turned a screwball over, down and in. Trevino on deck. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th inning. Valenzuela's 1-2 screwball is hit right back through the middle. So Hubie Brooks has 2 singles and a walk. And now another fella who has hit the ball hard coming up, Alex Trevino. Trevino hit one through Valenzuela's legs, so 2 of them have gone through there. This one by Brooks and the one by Trevino in the 2nd inning. Then last time up, Trevino hit the ball very hard, and Valenzuela stayed with it to spear it and throw him out. Brooks off first, they pitch out, but he's not going anywhere. Ball 1. Trevino checking at third with Chuck Cottier. Darren Johnson watching Brooks take his lead. And Fernando goes over there, driving Hubie back. 1-0. The count to Alex Trevino, the catcher tonight. Again, Fernando over to first. 5 hits for New York. The Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits. Screwball is swung on and missed. 1-1. Both Valenzuela and Trevino have been playing professionally since they were 16 down in the Mexican League. They played against each other. Trevino with Hermosillo. Fernando with Navajoa. There goes Brooks. It swung on and missed. The throw to Russell, and he got him. So Hubie Brooks is shot down by Mike Socha. Brooks, who might have some speed, doesn't have the knowledge. He has been thrown out 3 out of 4 times now. And with 2 out, 1-2 the count to Alex Trevino. Valenzuela checking Socha. Now the left-hander ready, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Curveball got him looking. Oh, he broke off a dandy. 7 strikeouts for Valenzuela. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. Jerry will be along in a minute, and at the end of 6, it's Dodgers 1 and the Mets 0.
Hello there. This is Chet Atkins. Music has been an important part of my life all my life. You probably know me best as a guitarist, but I also play mandolin and violin. In fact, my first instrument was a ukulele. I didn't start playing the guitar until in later life. I was nearly 8 years old. You know, you're never too young or too old to make your own music. It doesn't matter if you're 8 or 80. Music is meant to be played, not just listened to. It doesn't matter what instrument you play or what kind of music you like. I'm a country boy myself, but you might prefer jazz, rock, or classical. All music is good, but the best is the music that you make yourself. So come on and join in the fun. Become a music maker and find out what you're missing. Remember that music is for everyone.
A public service message from the American Music Conference and this station.
Fans here in New York watching this brilliant pitching duel between Mike Scott, the young man out of Pepperdine, and Fernando Valenzuela, who now has not allowed a run in 6 innings tonight. The Dodgers picked up an unearned run in the first inning after an error, a balk, and a base hit by Baker. So it stands at 1-0 as the Dodgers start with Shea, Guerrero, and Socia against Scott, who probably is pitching his last inning, since Mike is due to bat second in the bottom of the 7th inning. Meanwhile, Cincinnati has increased the lead over Houston 4-0 in the 6th inning. Chicago 3, Atlanta 2. And that's at the end of 6. San Francisco leads Montreal in the 8th inning 4-1. Philadelphia and San Diego are tied at 6-6 in the 6th inning. St. Louis leads Pittsburgh 2-0, and that ball game is in the 4th inning. Here's Shea at bat, has singled and lined out the shortstop. Ronnie waiting, and Mike Scott ready to go to work. Here's his pitch on the way. Outside and low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. In the ball game in Atlanta now, the Braves have come up with a run to tie the Cubs 3-3. The Dodgers lead the Braves by 4. Shea looks at one low for a ball, and the count goes 2 balls and no strikes to Ron Shea. Mike Scott pitching an outstanding ball game. Now the pitch. Shea swings and misses for a strike. Last year when Scott joined the Mets after coming up from Tidewater, he had an 8-hit shutout against the Cardinals. And an 8-0 victory, and he's pitched well again tonight. Mike Scott. He has 2 big league wins and 1 a shutout before this year. Delivers low for a ball and is 3-1. And he's won 1 game and lost 2 this season. So young Mike Scott, 26-year-old right-hander out of Pepperdine, doing very well. The 3-1 pitch to Shea. A half swing, strike 2. Ronnie tried to hold up, but he'd gone too far. Scott has not walked the batter. He has struck out 6. Valenzuela was wild early. He has walked 4, struck out 7. 1-0, Dodgers leading, top of the 7th. 3-2 pitch, low, ball 4, and so Shea draws a walk. And that's news, the first walk given up by Scott in the ball game tonight. Scott, prior to tonight, had walked only 5 in 21 innings. Time called now. Rube Walker, the pitching coach, coming out to talk to him. Right-hander in the bullpen now for the Mets, as Walker is at the mound talking with Scott. Reardon was throwing the last inning when it was possible that they might have to come to the 9th spot in the batting order. But Valenzuela got him out, so they ended with a 7th place hitter. Now Rube Walker comes jogging back into the dugout. And with 1 on, nobody out, here's Guerrero with Socia and then Russell to follow. All right, Guerrero. And the pitch to Guerrero is in there for strike. He was around a bunt. And the pitcher in the bullpen is right-hander Tom Hausman down there now. Guerrero around the bunt. Dodgers leading by 1, trying to get it set up for an extra run or so. Here's the stretch by Scott, the pitch to Pedro. Up high for a ball. He was around a bunt again, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, they had quite a quiz on the board. Name the 4 players who were on the original Mets team in 1962 who later became managers in the major leagues. Here's the look and the pitch. Bunt at first baseline, foul, out of play. 1 and 2. Well, it was pretty easy to name Don Zimmer and Gil Hodges, and possibly Roger Craig. But the one you'd really stumped on would be Jim Marshall. Forgot that Marshall had played with the original Mets in 62. A ball and 2 strikes to Guerrero. Backs out now to have a look at Ozark. Will simply take the bunt off and let him swing away. Pedro tonight has fouled out and struck out. Here's the look and the pitch to him. Drive along the left field line. This is going to be fair ball in the corner. Here is Shea around second, around third. He's going to be stopped at third on a double by Guerrero into the left field corner. So they took the bunt off on a 1-2 count, and Guerrero hit it right down the line, and it hit on the chalk line. A 2-base hit for Guerrero, and Shea stopped at third with nobody out. As Kingman went over to play it, got it to the relay man in a hurry. Ronnie had to stop. With nobody out, no need taking a gamble there. As Kingman got it in quickly to the cutoff man, Bob Baylor. Here's Mike Socha at bat now, and Mike is a hungry hitter. He is 0 for 13. The Mets bring the infield up halfway with Socha at bat. Has grounded out twice to the infield. 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Russell on deck. Here's the look. And the pitch by Scott. Socha, a high pop foul off third base. That's going to be back out of play. Strike 1. So Socha around late on it. A great series in Montreal, but he's cooled off since that. Socha now is 0 for 13. Guerrero a double, sends Shea to third. The Dodgers trying to break through for the little insurance runs now for Fernando, who will start with the 8th place hitter in the bottom of the 7th. Strike 1 count. Here's Scott's pitch. Strike 2 on a good fastball. So Socha's in the hole at 0-2. Mike waiting. Russell out on deck, and then Valenzuela. Now they bring the infield all the way up on the right side and leave only the shortstop back a step or 2. Here's the look. Scott ready. Time call. The Socha backs out. He wasn't ready. The Dodgers with 1 run, 4 hits. The Mets no runs and 5 hits. Another dandy. The Dodgers again having trouble scoring, but the starting pitching has really been brilliant. 2-1 the last 2 games. 1-0 here tonight. Now the 0-2 pitch coming up to Socha. Scott again set, delivers. Ground ball to second base. And Shea is caught in a rundown now. And here comes Doug Flynn to run after him. And Shea now is going to be tagged out. But Socha on the rundown goes to second base. So Socha hits it to a fourth play. Flynn to the plate. And Trevino finally runs down and tags out Shea. As Socha goes to second base on the play. And Guerrero takes third. Well, they get a little more speed at third base, but a little slower runner at second base now. So Socha can't get him in, but Shea stays in the rundown long enough to allow Socha to get to second base. So the Dodgers still have 2 runners on, and they've traded speed a little bit. And we'll see if they go for a runner for Socha with Russell coming up. You can look for a squeeze play now because Russell is a very good bunter. Mets have the infield in. Billy has lined to third and grounded back to the pitcher. Here's the look, the stretch, and the pitch on the way. They pitch out. No play. So Trevino thought they might be squeezing, and he called for the pitch out. 1-0. Dodgers started off with runners at second and third with nobody out. Now they're still there, but we have 1 out. Here's the stretch to look, and now Scott backs off. The Dodgers have used the squeeze several times this year, and Russell has been one of the guys they've used in it. Here's the pitch. Line drive back to the pitcher. Back to second base, no chance because the infield was in. A line drive by Russell caught by Scott, who wanted to double Socha off second base, but Flynn was playing way in and had no chance to get back to the bag. So Russell hit it hard. And right back to the pitcher. Scott made a good play. And they threw. Flynn was all the while pointing to third because the third baseman was there. But Scott was going to go to second base. And he was too late with it. Had he gone to third, he might have gotten Guerrero. All right, here's Valenzuela bat, and Scott about to get out of a big jam. Here's the pitch on the way to Fernando. Looped along the left field line, foul ball. So Freddie was trying to do it, but he was a little late with it. He has struck out twice tonight. So Valenzuela backing out.
This is WJNO in West Palm Beach, all you'll ever need to know.
On the count. Valenzuela back in there again. Runners on at second and third. Scott ready to go with it. The arm stretch from the left. Here's the pitch. And it's tapped. Foul ball at the plate. Let's pause quickly for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. Valenzuela. Here's Scott. With the pitch on the way. Fouled away on the ground behind the plate. Valenzuela has had several key hits in his game. Trying to get one right here, and the Met fans are now pulling for Scott to strike him out. So in a tight spot in the ball game, Dodgers lead 1-0. And the crowd making a lot of noise now. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Foul out of play. So Fernando hanging in there. Strike two. Still up to Valenzuela. Valenzuela has 7 hits and 2 runs batted in. Oh, he's digging in up there now. 0-2, the pitch on the way. Looked at shortstop and caught by Baylor on the fly. The side is retired. So a great bit of pitching by Mike Scott to turn back the Dodgers, who were at second and third with nobody out. And they didn't score. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th with the score. The Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
In poverty-stricken areas of the world today, there is a sea of human need. Millions of needy families are unable to feed their malnourished children. Many have only disease-ridden water to drink, inadequate shelter, no medical facilities, no schools. Without outside assistance, there is no way they can win their desperate battle against poverty, hunger, and disease. Across the world, CARE is an answer to human need. It is your answer. Through CARE, you can feed the hungry. You can help them to grow their own life-giving food and to dig wells so they can have safer water to drink. You can provide needy people with the means to build schools for their children and to build adequate shelter for their families. CARE, your personal answer to human need. Please send your check or money order to CARE, 145 Madeira Avenue, Coral Gables, 33134.
Well, they're making a lot of noise here at Shea Stadium, and the Met Magic is what they call it. As they have the crowd singing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It'll be Flynn, a hitter for Scott, and then Mazzilli. As we go to play in the last half of the 7th inning, a big crowd here on hand at Shea, and they really got their money's worth in that inning. The Dodgers had Shea walk, Guerrero double, but then Scott got Sosa to hit a ground ball to second. They got Shea in a run down. Got Russell on a line drive, and he got Valenzuela on a line drive. So Scott had a little good fortune there, as both Russell and Valenzuela hit line drives. All right, Doug Flynn coming on. Wide out wide, once to right, once to center. Doug Flynn. Scott comes out on deck. It could be that if Flynn gets on, they would let Scott stay in and bunt. But they have 2 pitchers now going in the Mets bullpen down there, and I'd almost bet one of them Steele Allen, who's the ace of the bullpen. In the last of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch on the way. He ran up the bunt, takes it low for a ball, did Doug Flynn, hitting .347. He's the number 6 hitter in the league. Doug Flynn, boy, he's having a good start. Always known as a good glove man, but not much of a hitter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Line to the right, base hit. Over to cut it off with Landro, and brings it back in. So Flynn opens up with a single to right center. And now, Tavares is going to bat for Scott. Frank Tavares will bat here in the the seventh inning for Scott. Hit number 6 for New York. All have been singles. So here's Frank Tavares, who has not been playing lately. He's been in the doghouse a bit, hitting just .214. Played in 17 games and has 15 hits. So they bring Tavares in. He's the regular shortstop normally, but right now Baylor is playing. So Valenzuela, who was in trouble in the first 3 innings, sailed through the middle 3, now has a leadoff man on here in the 7th. Well, at first base, will shift. The bunt is on. The pitch, bunt is foul. Back up the screen, strike 1. And he got a high hard one to try to bunt at. Another good ball game involving the Dodgers. Oh, they've had some dandies. Stand 4-3 on the road trip with 2 to go here in New York. Valenzuela trying to overcome Mets magic and spread a little Fernando magic around. Here's the pitch. Tavares bunts and misses. Strike 2. 0-2. Let's see if we keep the bunt on. Out on deck, Lee Mazzilli. All right, Valenzuela reading signs for Sosa. The Dodgers missed a chance in the 7th inning, but you got to give Mike Scott credit for great pitching there to really turn them back. All right, a strike 2 count to Tavares. Runner at first base. Fernando ready to go with it. Looks over at Flynn. Here's the pitch on the way. Bounce it back to Fernando. Down to second 1. On to first base, and it's not in time. Valenzuela had the ball stick in his glove, and he threw low to Russell. And by the time Billy got it to first base, Tavares able to beat the play. So a force out, a 1-6 play, and the Dodgers just missed the double play. The throw was a little low to Russell. Had Fernando gotten the ball up a little bit. Time call now. Lasorda wants Russell wants Lasorda to come out. And we'll see what this is all about. So Billy Russell having Lasorda and Bill Buehler come out and talk to him. Might be that he got stepped on there by Doug Flynn sliding in. So Buehler and Lasorda, Russell, Shea, and Lopes gathered in the huddle out in the center of the diamond. And we'll see what happens now. Might be that Russell had his hand or glove cut when Flynn came sliding in there to try to break up the double play. The throw was low, as we said, but apparently Russell's all right. And whatever it is, he's going to go back to his position and get set to go again. Okay, we have 1 out, 1 on, and Russell now ready to go at shortstop. And here's Mazzilli coming on. We'll have all the scores for you on the post-game show. Complete wrap-up. We can tell you that Cincinnati beat Houston tonight 4-0. We'll have all the details later on. All right, here's Mazzilli, who has singled, walked, and flied to center. And Valenzuela set to go with it now. Throw to first base, not in time. So Valenzuela had that ball stick in his glove. There have been several balls hit back to him tonight. And he had the double play, maybe, if he throws a little higher to Russell. Throw to first, and again, Tavares hops back on the bag. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 for Mazzilli. Tavares has stolen 4 bases this year and has not been caught. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run here in a minute. 1 out and 1 on. Mazzilli the batter. Valenzuela working in the bottom of the 7th inning. There goes the runner. Here's Sosa. Can't get the ball out. Throws to second, not in time. That one stuck in Sosa's glove. And Tavares steals it. Sosa had the ball stick. Maybe they got a little glue on that ball. It stuck in Fernando's glove, and now it is in Russell's glove, but a good throw by Sosa right into the sliding runner and almost got him. Russell tagged him actually up on the foot, which is too late if he went in head first. All right, a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Mazzilli here in the 7th inning. The Dodgers missed the double play, and it might be expensive. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. Swing and a miss at a hard fastball. 1-2 to Mazzilli with Baylor on deck. They could have had the double play, as they say, but it stuck in Fernando's glove, and then he threw low, and Russell couldn't quite get Tavares at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mazzilli waiting the pitch. Popped up foul. That's going to be out of play to the right side behind the Mets dugout. So the count to Mazzilli is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Valenzuela has struck out 7. He walked 4, and the walks all came in the first 3 innings. 1-2 is the count. All right, Valenzuela getting set to go again to Mazzilli. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging on a high fastball. 8 strikeouts for Valenzuela. His high for the year is 11. And here's Rusty Staub now to bat for Baylor. So Joe Torrey's going to send in a left-hand hitter. Rusty Staub to bat for Baylor. And what he's going to do, I'm sure, is put Tavares in at shortstop. And that means if Staub does make out or does not, he will have the pitcher batting second. So Staub bats here in the 7th inning. And that's a pretty good maneuver by Joe Torrey. He gets a very good hitter up there, even though he's a left-hand hitter. Staub has been around long enough not to be worried about left-hand pitchers. Staub is hitting .313. He has 20 hits, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. So Le Grand Orange, as he was known in Montreal, the redhead, is coming on. Veteran Rusty Staub, back for his second turn. And you can hear the crowd now beginning to chant, Rusty, Rusty. He was with the Mets a while, then went to Montreal, bounced around in the American League, Detroit to Texas. Now he's back here in New York. Rusty Staub. Left-hander against left-hander now, and a runner on at second base, and Staub gets his first look at Valenzuela and vice versa. Here's the pitch. Almost hit him. Fastball inside, ball 1. After Staub, it'll be Stern, the first baseman. 1-0 Dodgers in another dandy. Oh, we've had some real spine tingers on this trip. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Low and inside, ball 2. Valenzuela, of course, has not had to pitch to a left-hand batter tonight. Here's the first one up there. Staub waiting at the plate. 2-0 the count. Valenzuela set again. The look and the pitch on the way. High inside, ball 3. 3-0 the count. He doesn't know what a left-hand batter looks like. He hasn't seen any. 3-0. So Fernando, who had walked 4, struck out 8. Behind the count to Staub at 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the look and the pitch on the way. He's high with it, ball 4, and the go-ahead run is walked. That is the 5th walk from Valenzuela, and the first since the 3rd inning, and it brings on Stearns with 2 outs. Stearns has walked and flat out play. A runner now at first base. Wally Bachman will run at first base for Staub. Of course, he represents the go-ahead run. So it's Bachman as the runner. So Bachman running here in the 7th inning. He is at first base. And Tavares with good speed at the second. And the inning has been prolonged because the Dodgers missed the double play on the comebacker to Valenzuela. Stern swings at a breaking ball, strike 1. 8 strikeouts, and Fernando looks for one here to close out this inning. 1-0 Dodgers. Valenzuela. Boy, he's been something, but he's been in a mess tonight. Here's the look and the pitch. A little high for a ball, and the count is 1-1. The Mets stranded 7 runners in the first 3 innings. And we're quiet in the middle 3, but now trying to get something going here in the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stearns. He calls time, backed out a minute. Tavares on second. Bachman on first. Valenzuela was looked up in the airplane. Big jet flying by overhead, and he's going to have a look at it up in the night sky. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Too high, ball 2. So he's out of sync again. He got back in the rhythm in the middle inning, but now he's out of there again. He's going to go it alone, though. There's no one throwing in the Dodger bullpen. So it's up to Fernando. Tying run at second. Go ahead run is at first. We're in the 7th inning. Here's the look, and here's the pitch. Popped up on the right side. Going out is Lopes. Calling as he goes. Guerrero behind him, and it's going to be Lopes for the catch. So Stearns pops up, and Valenzuela strands 2 more Mets. 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left on. The Mets have left 9. And we'll go to the 8th in a moment with a score. The Dodgers 1, and New York nothing.
I'm aboard the Ark with Noah in a raging storm. Guess you could say you told us so.
Our Babylonian weatherman predicted drizzle, but I heard from a very reliable source that we'd have a deluge, a calamity.
And to avoid disaster, you planned ahead. This may be the first case of ride-sharing.
Kalaka.
A what?
A kalaka. In Babylonian, ride-sharing is kalaka.
Oh, and you are kalaka-ing with your animal friends 2x2?
Right, they're all here. A to Z, aardvarks to zebras. Except the dinosaurs. They missed the boat. Mark my word, they'll be extinct.
What's your biggest problem sharing the Ark with these animals?
Food. Each animal wants their favorite food.
That's a problem.
Especially when their favorite food is one of the other animals.
That is a problem.
I have to constantly remind them, hey, animals, share the ride, not each other.
What should people who want to ride share or kalaka look for?
They should look for people going to the same place.
Makes sense. To weather the storm, share the ride.
You betcha. Kalaka, because we're all in the same boat.
Brought to you by this station and the U.S. Department of Transportation.
This is WJNO West Palm Beach, where mornings you'll hear the morning team of John Picano, John Clark Wheeler, Gabby Bell, and Paul Harvey. WJNO News Radio, all you'll ever need to know.
Dodger Blue, Post Office Box 67200, Los Angeles, 90067. You'll receive 20 issues of Dodger Blue each year, a 32-page tabloid packed with news on the Dodgers and their farm team. Keep up with the Dodgers with Dodger Blue. Now we go along into the 8th inning of the ball game, and for the Mets now, the new pitcher will be Jeff Reardon coming on. Reardon making his appearance here tonight, batting in the number 2 spot. Tavares, who batted for Scott, stays in the game at shortstop. And Reardon coming on, making his 11th appearance of the year. In 15 innings, Reardon has given up 10 earned runs. So Reardon is coming on now. Big right-hander. The Dodgers will start off with the top of the batting order, Lopes, Landreau, and Baker, and they missed a great chance in the 7th inning when Scott did a great job of getting Russell on a line drive out and Valenzuela lined out to end the inning. Jeff Reardon, 6'1", 190-pounder. He led all Met pitchers last year with 61 appearances, and he had a record of 8-7. The year before that, 1-2 with a fine earned run average of 171. So Reardon ready to go to work now, even though his earned run average is high this year. He's had some good numbers in the past. The pitch to Lopes is a fastball for strike, 0-1. Reardon wears the same number that Landreau wears, number 44. Lopes has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight, but he's still 0 for 3. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside almost hit him. Davey had to fall out of there, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1-0 ball game into the 8th inning. And the run came in the 1st inning, and it was an unearned run. The Dodgers picked it up early. Lopes looks at that one outside for a ball, and it's 2-1. Huey Brooks playing in at third to guard against the bunt from Davey. Lopes tonight hitting in tough luck, trying to come out of his prolonged slump. Takes another strike, and it is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lopes. Day game tomorrow, 10:45 warm-up right here on the Dodger Network. Sutcliffe against Dave Roberts, the left-hander. Now the 2-2 pitch to Lopes. Foul back out of play. Sunday's game will be Bobby Welch against Randy Jones. So we'll see 2 left-handers going for the Mets in the next 2 games. Turn 2. Lopes backs out for a moment. Now the windup of the pitch. Davey fouls it away out of play. Count holding it 2-2 to Lopes. Landreau due up next. The Dodgers on this road trip have won 4, lost 3, and the Philadelphia series 3 one-run ball games. So in one-run ball games this year, the Dodgers are 7-7. 2-2 pitch, fouled away again off to the right, out of play. One-run games, 14 of them in the 26 games the Dodgers have played. Over half the games by 1 run, and they're even in one-run games. Now the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Lopes is out on strike. Got him with a fastball. So Reardon comes in, strikes out Lopes. Here's Landreau at bat. Kenny has hit safely a 9 out of 10. Tonight he's 0 for 3. Safe on an error, apparently picked off by Scott in the first inning, but a balk was called. That really kept it alive, and it was the break of the game. Landreau went to second base, and Baker singled to drive him in. So here's Landreau. 4 home runs and 17 runs batted in. A cool night here in New York. He'll be right back at the ballpark tomorrow. Here's the pitch to Landreau. Bunts at first baseline, and it's a good one. If he can get by the first baseman, he slides and he's safe. He missed him. Stearns is going to argue with the plate umpire Colosi, who made the call, as Landreau went around him and slid under him, and he's safe. And Torrey now is out there to protest the call by Colosi. Colosi said he didn't touch him. Stearns said he did, and Colosi gets a bunt single. So Landreau laying it down, beats it out, getting under the tag of Stearns. Stearns said he tagged him, and Landreau went sliding in, grabbed the bag with a hand. Torrey is still arguing with Colosi. The first base umpire fully was screened out of the play. He couldn't see it, so he just had to ask for help. Landreau diving by him. Very close call. Hard to tell on the replay. Torrey is still arguing, and Colosi is getting upset about it now. All right, Torrey still going at Colosi behind the plate. Joe wants to just have a little more to say. And Colosi puts his mask on, and he tells Joe, that's it, I'm not going to change it. That's the way it's going to be. So Landreau gets a bunt single, and the Mets argue the call. He had a drag bunt down the first baseline. Stearns came down to make a tag on him. And Torrey now he's going to be thrown out of the game. Well, Joe wouldn't stop. He just kept going, and he wouldn't let Colosi go back to work. And now he's thrown out of the game. Torrey is chased, and he will not go back to the bench. And Colosi's trying to walk away from him. And Torrey gesturing with his hands out toward the center of the diamond. Colosi walks slowly toward the first base dugout. He's listening all the way. And Torrey still staying right on him as Colosi now walks back toward home plate. And now they stop and go at it again. Torrey will not leave, and he has another parting shot to say. And Colosi says, that's enough. Let's go on and play ball. So Torrey is chased out of the game. Landreau on first with a drag bunt single. And Torrey now goes into the dugout and throws some equipment out of there. It's very hard to tell whether the tag was made when you watch the replay, but Torrey leaves. He's down the runway, and he's gone. All right, Baker is bat, and we'll see now if the Dodgers try to run with Landreau. So it's stolen 6 times. All right, Reardon up with the arms, and the pitch is high and inside, ball 1. All right, Baker waiting, 1 ball and no strikes. Big Chef Reardon ready to work, and the pitch to Dusty, a fly ball to right field, and he hit it deep. Back for it goes Youngblood. He's on the track to make the catch for the out. So Baker flies out to right. We have 2 down, and the batter will be Garvey. The largest Met crowd of the year is here tonight. 39,848 with over 41,000 in the stadium. 39,848 to paid attendance. Now we have 2 outs. Landreau still at first base as Garvey comes up. Baker a long fly ball to right field for the out. Landreau at first. And a throw over there, and he comes back in head first. Okay, Reardon back to the mound again. We're in the 8th inning, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. Here goes Landreau. Here's the throw to second base by Trevino, and Kenny's out. Stealing. So Landreau didn't get a very good jump, and he's cut down. The side is retired. No runs and a hit. None left. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th in a moment with the score. Dodgers 1, the Mets nothing.
One of the problems that success brings is that the penalty of permanence is institutionalization. And in institutionalizing our country, our companies, and our communities, we tend to lose much of the spirit of adventure, the courage that was responsible for their successes in the first place. Eric Hoffer has said, the thing that frightens me is that we've become a nation of cowards. We're afraid. We're afraid. Now, it's easy to see what he means. I often get the impression that people are trying to tiptoe their way through life in order to make it safely to death. We're becoming a nation of play-it-safers. Don't stick your neck out, we're told. And in taking the safer road, what is it we want from it? Is it security we're after? Do we want to live bland, uneventful, beige kind of lives? It's not the kind of life that built the country, that fashioned our great institutions and caused us to become the most inventive and innovative society on earth. Are we losing that? If we do, we'll sink back into the pack and someone else will have to lead. This is Earl Nightingale, and thank you.
Tonight has walked, singled, and grounded out on a sharp one to shortstop Bill Russell. So here's Youngblood out of Texas. He's had 14 hits in his last 23 at-bats. So that's what you call a hot hitter. His average is up to 358. Swing and a miss, strike one. 0-1 to count. Youngblood hitting fourth, Kingman on deck, Hubie Brooks to follow. Fernando into the windup, and the pitch, strike two on a fastball, 0-2. Youngblood thinking, 0-2, Valenzuela. Got to do it again. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Foul out of play. The only 2 runs that Valenzuela has allowed this year have come in the 8th inning. To San Francisco and to Montreal. We're 2 out. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and down goes Youngblood. That's 9 strikeouts for Valenzuela. And here is Dave Kingman, who has grounded into double play and struck out twice. So Kingman, the batter. Big Dave, of course, could upset everything. He has the power to hit it out of this ballpark by plenty. Pitches outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strike. After Kingman, it'll be Hubie Brooks, the third baseman. So Big Dave Kingman up there hasn't had a good night yet, but the night's not over. Valenzuela working to him with a 1 ball, no strike count. 1 out and nobody on. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, screwball, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kingman. Valenzuela with 9 strikeouts tonight. He's had 10 twice and 11 once. Here's the pitch on the way to Big Dave. Fouled away, and it's strike 2. 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. If Valenzuela could get the side out in order here, that means in the 9th he'd start at the bottom of the order. Kingman takes high, ball 2, 2-2. He made a lot of pitches early in the game, and we'll see if it's going to be any wear and tear on him now as we get to the late inning. Fernando trying to get his 6th complete game. Looking for win number 7. He has a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch on the way to Kingman. Struck him out. Screw ball gets Kingman. Strikeout number 10. Oh, he needs one more to tie his season high. And here's Hubie Brooks, who hasn't found him any puzzle at all. Brooks has had 2 hits and a walk. And Hubie's hitting .306. But Kingman has had a bad night, struck out 3 times, and grounded into a double play. So Valenzuela's taking care of the slugger. Now here's Brooks. Takes high for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. 8th inning. And Valenzuela trying to live up to his advance notices, even though Mike Scott might have had the edge in out pitching him. There's a looper to center field, a base hit for Brooks this third of the game. So Brooks, a 3-hit night, 3 for 3, and here's Alex Trevino, the catcher. Trevino had an infield hit right through Fernando's leg, and he grounded out and struck out. Trevino, the batter, with Flynn, and then the shortstop, Tavares, to follow. The pitcher Reardon is batting in the number 2 spot, you remember. Here's the pitch to Trevino. Fastball low, 1 ball and no strike. 7 hits allowed by Fernando. 7 is the most he's allowed in any game this year, and he's done that twice against the Astros and the Giants. Now the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls and no strike. He has had 3 5-hitters and a 4-hitter. Fernando taking a little walk back up on top. Valenzuela looking at Brooks, who's off first base. Short lead in the pitch. Trevino swings at the screw ball. Strike 1. Turn 1 to Alex. The Mets catcher. The Mets have left 9 men on, but they left 7 on in their first 3 turns at bat. When Valenzuela was certainly not the Valenzuela we've seen all year. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Instead of throw to first, and Brooks gets back on the bag. Turn 1, 2 outs. Now the pitch to the plate. Loops out to second base. Lopes coming for it. Makes his play in time, and the side is retired. That ball had a lot of spin on it. Davey had to hurry over to get it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We'll go to the 9th inning in a moment with a score. The Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
You think you've got a problem buying your mother a present this Mother's Day? Try buying presents for 4 mothers. I have my mother, Jack's mother, my grandmother, and his grandmother. I couldn't possibly leave anybody out, so I give them each the Whitman sampler. The sampler's been a Mother's Day tradition with us for years. If you've got a problem about what to buy your mother this Mother's Day, give her the Whitman sampler. It's the perfect way to say Happy Mother's Day, no matter how many mothers you have.
Deadline, Saturday, May 16th at Sears. Sears 48 battery is on sale. Next to the Die-Hard, the best-selling replacement battery in America. Sears 48 batteries save $10 with trade-in. And while they last, 40% off at Sears. Sears steel-belted radials are on sale, too. The tire with the heritage of the tough roads at our largest dollar savings ever. 40% off spring 81 general catalog prices. For great automotive values, you can count on Sears.
We go along to the 9th inning, and the Big Apple is rocking here as Valenzuela has been dueling against the Mets. He's had a 1-0 ball game against Houston, a 2-0 ball game against Houston, a 2-0 ball game against San Diego, and a 5-0 game against the Giants, 6-1 and 7-1 against the Expos and the Giants. But it's 1-0 here against the New York Mets with Garvey starting it off in the 9th inning. Garvey against Reardon with Shea and Guerrero to follow. The Dodgers could have made it a little easier for Fernando in the 7th inning when Shea walked and Guerrero doubled, but they were stranded there with great stop pitching by Mike Scott. The pitch to Garvey is a curveball, and he has to fall into that one, ball 1. So Reardon's curve got away, and Steve ducks under it. 1-0 Dodgers. The run came in the 1st inning. Garvey swings at a fastball, 1-1. An unearned run at that. Landreau let it charm wide. He got on an error, then was picked off and called out by the umpire at first base fully, but Colosi, the plate umpire, ruled a balk. Here's a curve over his head again as Garvey has to get down and out under a curveball. That was another thing that I think provoked Joe Torre when he was being chased out of the game. He was making references to that play back in the 1st inning on the balk when he was talking to Colosi. Now the 2-1 pitch to Steve. High for ball. 3-1. So Torrey was still aggravated about the first inning balk call. When they called Landreau safe in the 8th inning, he was really upset at Colosi. So he really got his money's worth. Chased out. 3-1 pitch. Fly ball to the center field. Mazzilli drifting back a few steps. And he's waiting under it now to make the catch for the out. So Garvey, a fly ball to center, 1 down. And the batter will be Ron Shea, who has an infield hit. Beat out a legger to third, lined out sharply to shortstop, and then walked. So Ronnie is 1 for 2. The Dodgers have only 5 hits tonight. But the pitching, again, the story. Valenzuela trying to go 7-0, and he's got to go through Flynn, Taveras, and Mazzilli in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch to Shea. Curve strike. Strike 1 count. Here's the pitch. Over the head of Shea. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 man out. Here again is the windup and the pitch on the way. Foul on the ground behind the plate. They have announced that win or lose, they will have Valenzuela at a press conference after the game. He, of course, is a hot item. He came to New York yesterday for a special press conference prior to the Dodgers' arrival because he was going to pitch tonight. And win or lose, the New York writers want to talk to him again through his interpreter, Jaime Harin, who broadcasts the games in Spanish. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Ground ball, full foul out of side of third. And days like this, of course, we expect to have Fernando on our postgame show. He's making a lot of postgame appearances, and rightfully so. Strike 2, ball 1 to Ron Shea, top of the 9th inning at Shea Stadium in the Big Apple. Right-hander Jeff Reardon. Jeff has that mustache all the way down his jaws on each side. He's a kind of menacing-looking figure out there on the mound. The 1-2 pitch, Shea grounds this one foul off the third base side. And it bounces out into fairground, and the ball girl has to chase it down. It's a cool night here tonight, and the ball girl is dressed in shorts. But she's got a warm-up jacket on, so part of her's warm anyway. All right, 1 and 2. Reardon ready to go to Shea. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Shea strikes out for the second out. Reardon gets his second strikeout, and we've had a lot of Ks in this game. Valenzuela has struck out 10, and the Dodgers have seen 8 of their batters go down. So we've had 18 Ks in this game. Here's Guerrero, 1 for 3, a double his last time up in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Reardon is throwing hard. He doesn't look like a guy who has an earned run average of 6. He's peppered him in there pretty good here tonight. Jeff Reardon. 10 innings, he's given up 15 hits and 10 runs. Which is high and inside for ball. He has struck out 15, walked 8, so he's apparently been a little wild. So far tonight he hasn't been. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 men out. Here's the look and the pitch on the way. Curve, that's high, and again he ducks under it. Every Dodger hitter's had to duck under Reardon's curveball. He's been having a little trouble getting it down. 2 outs in the 9th inning. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch on the way. Foul out of play. 2 and 2. Balls, 2 strikes. Guerrero waiting, and Reardon's pitch. High and tight. Ball 3, full count. 3 and 2. On deck, a hungry hitter, Mike Soshev, who, as he comes to the plate, will be 0 for 14 if he gets up here. Reardon back to the top of the mound, rubbing up a new ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 men out. And the windup and the pitch on the way. Foul back upstairs. Count holding. 3-2. We had a lot of long ball games on the trip, but they've been exciting and well played. So we don't care how long they go, just as long as they're nice and exciting. Hope you've enjoyed all of them. 3-2 pitch. Too high, ball 4, and on with a walk is Guerrero. So Reardon gives up a base on balls. And the batter will be Sosa, who is 0 for 14. Mike had a chance in the 7th inning to help out. Good with the infield in and the runners second and third. He bounced one back to second baseman Flynn, and they got Shea on a rundown off third base. Dodgers were turned back in that inning after it looked like they might add some insurance runs. Now Sosa bat here in the 9th, and the pitch to him is low and inside, ball 1. After Sosa will come Bill Russell. Bullpens are quiet in the 9th inning. Tomorrow, Rick Sutcliffe a 2-2 record against Dave Roberts, who is 0-2. Then Welch and Jones go Sunday. And that's our last game on this road trip. Here's the pitch. High for ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Billy Russell out on deck, and Reardon again. Rubbing on the ball, and now we got a right-hander up in the bullpen for New York. 2-0 count. Sosa pops it up foul. That's going to carry into the stands out of play. Hubie Brooks, the third baseman, chasing over after that one. Brooks has been the Mets batting star tonight with 3 hits. He's had 3 hits and a walk. Right-hander Tom Hausman now is throwing in the New York bullpen in right field. Tom out of Las Vegas. Guerrero at first, a 2-1 count to Sosa. Here's the pitch on the way. Popped up. Around the plate. Trevino calling in foul territory. He's there, makes the catch. And the side out, as Sosa pops up to the catcher. No runs, no hits. 1 left will go to the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing.
This Sunday is Mother's Day. How are you going to make your mother feel special?
Send her flowers and close up.
Flowers and a card. I'm probably just going to get her a card. She just lives down the street, so I'll probably just jog over and hand it to her.
Send her roses.
We're going to church with her and send her roses.
I'm going to call her up. She lives about 2,000 miles away. I'm going to wish her a good, happy Mother's Day and hope she has a good, relaxing day. She deserves it.
Take her out to dinner. I'd like to take her maybe over to Bennigan's. I was thinking of cooking for her.
We're going to take her to a Holiday on Ice, and then we're taking her out to dinner. I'll probably call my mother, as I've done every year since I've lived in Florida, and tell her I love her. Maybe send her some flowers. I won't be with my mother this year. My mom lives in Ocala, so instead I'm taking my godmother out for the day, and we're going to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to a restaurant called Crab Pot. We're going to spend the day at the Crab Pot and having fun.
Cook her a meal. Well, Mom always has to cook all the time, so I think I'll reverse the situation and do it for her, and so she can rest. It's her day.
I'm Patty Moore for WJNO News Radio on Lantana Road and Lantana.
Bottom of the 9th inning again, and Fernando Valenzuela tried to do it just one more time. He walked a tightrope early in the game, pitched well in the middle innings, got out of a couple of scrapes in the 7th and the 8th. Now he goes to the 9th with Flynn, Taveras, and Mazzulli, the first 3 batters due up here. Valenzuela has scattered 7 hits. In only the 2nd inning did the Mets get 2. That came behind a walk, and he got Baylor on strikes to get out of a bases-loaded situation. So here is Flynn at bat, 1 for 3 in the game. Doug Flynn coming up. 5 hits for the Dodgers, 7 hits for the Mets. The Dodgers lead 1-0 on an unearned run picked up in the very first inning. Chicago Atlanta in overtime. We'll have all the scores for you on our postgame show. Well, we'll see how it comes out now. Fernando trying to get his 5th shutout of the year and his 7th straight win. Here's the pitch on the way to Flynn. Swing and a miss, through ball, strike 1. Doug going across the plate after 1. 0-1 count, last half of the 9th inning. It'd be nice if Fernando could have an easy inning. He hasn't had too many of those tonight. 4th, 5th, and 6th. The only one. 0-1 count. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Good curveball. Strike 2. Valenzuela has 10 strikeouts. He's been in double figures in strikeouts 4 times now. 10 3 times and 11 once. All right, it's strike 2 count to Flynn. The pitch on the way. A little high with a breaking ball, 1 and 2. Valenzuela leads the league in strikeouts. He now has 60, and is in his 7th game. 1 and 2. Flynn waiting. Here it is. Struck him out. Swing and a miss, and he ties his season high with 11. So Valenzuela making an impression here, even though he was wobbling at the start, but trying to finish strong. Here's Taveras at bat. Hit one back to the box in the 7th inning after failing to bunt. So 1 away as Valenzuela working on Frank Taveras, who came into the game in the 7th inning to pinch hit and then stayed in to play shortstop. Here's the pitch to him. He went up to front, let it go by, inside and low, ball 1. 1-0 to Taveras with Mazzilli on deck, and then the pitcher spot due up. The Mets with a .264 team average, higher than the Dodgers. Here's the bunt to third. Saves play. He got him 2 away. So Taveras bunts, and Shea throws him out. Valenzuela is within 1 out now of his 5th shutout of the year. Wow. Is that something? And now. All right, here's Lee Mazzilli coming on. Valenzuela trying to get his 5th shutout of the year. Is he something? Wow. All right, Fernando working on Mazzilli, who, of course, is a home run threat. Mazzilli has 1 for the year. He is 1 for 3. Here's Fernando's wind-up and pitch. Low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Mike Jorgensen is out on deck to serve as a pinch hitter. Should Mazzilli keep it alive? The 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Fernando has walked 5 and struck out 11. So Fernando trying to get the last out, but he's behind on the count to the right-hand hitter, Mazzilli. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball low, ball 3. So after 5 walks in the game, he had 4 through the first 3 innings, gave up 1 in the 7th. Now he's gone to 3-1 to Mazzilli. And, of course, he represents that tying run again. As the Mets still alive. And Fernando trying to get him. 3-0 pitch to Mazzilli. Pops up on the first base side. Foul. Garvey has a play. He's there. He's got it. And he did it again. He did it again. Fernando Valenzuela on a 3-0 count. Mazzilli fouls out the first. And the Dodgers are all over him out there on the mound. 5 shutouts for Valenzuela. In the 9th for the Mets, they go 1, 2, 3, and he has done it again. So Valenzuela wins his 7th in a row. And I'm telling you one thing, this is really some kind of a story. He puts the Big Apple on its ear, and they're still doing high fives out there on the center of the diamond for the Dodgers as Valenzuela turns it back one more time. And he goes walking off with a big grin on his face, high-fiving Guerrero, and he'll be our guest on the post-game show in a little while. The Dodgers with 1 run unearned in the first inning, 5 hits and no errors, and the Mets, no runs, 7 hits and 1 error. He went 3-0 on Mazzilli, and they let him hit, and Mazzilli fouled out to Garvey, and that ended the ball game and gave it to Fernando, his 7th win. So once again, the final score of the game, the Dodgers 1 and the Mets nothing. Now...
This is Patty Moore with WJNO's Weekend Update. Special events in the area this weekend are the combined ice shows, Ice Follies, and Holiday on Ice at the Auditorium. A planned show is at the Palm Beach Mall. A Mother's Day photo exhibit is on display at Burdines. The Science Museum and Planetarium are presenting Journey Through the Heavens, Discover Science and the Nature of the Matter. An art exhibit, Japanese Graphics, is on display at the Art and Culture Center in Hollywood. The National Society of Toll and Decorative Painters Market is at the Diplomat Hotel in Hollywood. On stage, Death of a Salesman is in production at the Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater. Dance 81 is being presented at the Parker Playhouse in Fort Lauderdale. 6 Characters in Search of an Author will be presented tonight and Sunday at the Florida Atlantic University. And The Heiress opens tonight at the Lake Worth Playhouse. Movies in the area are Heaven's Gate, Blazing Saddles, Nighthawks, Caveman, Hard Country, King of the Mountain, and On the Right Track. Have a great weekend from WJNO.
This is WJNO West Palm Beach. All news, all day.
Lines around the nose or cheek areas are the result of tiny broken blood vessels. Now, nobody knows exactly what causes the little red lines. There are, however, certain underlying factors that seem to play a large role in the disruption of these blood vessels. These include the following. That's heavy drinking, constant exposure to excessive warmth, high blood pressure, pregnancy, of course, if you're a woman, and trauma. In heavy drinking, alcohol dilates the blood vessels of the skin, and large amounts of alcohol are thought to make them expand so much that they really burst. Then they will appear in the skin as small red lines. Now, if there's constant exposure to excessive warmth, this is when small, fragile blood vessels can rupture if exposed to a concentrated source of heat. Trauma is a heavy blow to the skin and can break the small blood vessels. Breakage can also occur if constant pressure and pulling is exerted on the facial skin, as with massage. Physicians can seal off the broken blood vessels, and once the blood vessels are sealed, blood can no longer flow through them. It's actually the blood flowing through the damaged, dilated blood vessels that cause their red color. The physician applies an electric needle to the end of the small red line. Now, this seals off the vessel, and the visible lines disappear. It's quite painless and relatively inexpensive.
Bueno, así es. Al principio, pues, tenía problemas con el control. Pues, no sé por qué sería que pues, estaba muy parado, o así me dijo el coach Fernando.
Yes, I don't know why, but I didn't have any control in the first 3 innings. I think I didn't have a rhythm. I think I wasn't releasing the baseball the way that I should. My coach, Fernando, told me in between innings that I was too erect and didn't follow through very well.
It didn't appear in the early innings that his screwball was working. Did he make some adjustment from about the 4th inning on with the screwball?
Parecía que en los primeros 3 innings tu lanzamiento de tira buzón o screwball no estaba trabajando bien. ¿Hiciste un arreglo a partir del 4º inning para que trabajara mejor?
Bueno, sí, en los primeros 3 innings pues, el screwball se estaba yendo muy para afuera y pues, como me dijo el coach Peranowski que estaba yendo para un lado, estaba cayendo mal, pues ya después empecé a soltarme más y pues me dio resultado porque después empecé a tirar los strikes.